to denuclearize is a major accomplishment. There's a lot of work to go to actually see it through, but the fact that the two of them sat together and came to that kind of an agreement, I think, is historic.
House Majority Whip Steve Scalise moments ago, but Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer.
With the lack of details, we are worried that Kim Jong-un is getting something for nothing.
Among those not optimistic that North Korea will keep its promises. The Pentagon calls the summit outcome the first step on the path toward denuclearization, but no specific reaction to the president's pledge to suspend joint military exercises with South Korea. The Seattle City Council set to scrap a new tax that big companies complained about. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has this live.
Lisa, Seattle City Council members are listening to dozens of people over their imminent decision to repeal the so-called head tax, including Haley Novak with Socialist Alternative.
This backroom deal is a craven capitulation of threats from big business.
Emotions are high over the city's decision to repeal the tax on large businesses that they agreed to just a month ago. $275 per full-time employee was going to go toward affordable housing and addressing the city's homeless problem. Amazon threatened to stop its plans to grow in the city. Starbucks said the city just doesn't know how to spend the money it has, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. After a mixed day overall on Wall Street, the Dow finishes down a point at 25,320, but it's a record close for the NASDAQ, topping 7,700. The S&P also finishing higher by about 4 points. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Howdy, folks. KFC's Colonel Sanders here. It's summer, and KFC has something extra special to spice it up with KFC's new Sriracha Extra Tasty Crispy Chicken. Yup, we kicked up our Pika chicken a notch with Sriracha. It's spicy, tangy, and sweet. You've never had Sriracha like this before, so spice up your summer with KFC's new Sriracha Crispy Chicken. KFC is finger-licking good.
At Micronesia Renewable Energy, values matter. So all of their solar energy systems come with guarantees and the most value. No shortcuts, all quality. It's giving you that solar energy system at the best price. It's using highly efficient solar panels with typhoon-proven racking, built by highly skilled local technicians, so your system performs and saves you money. It's total peace of mind all the time. Not all solar companies are created equal. For experienced quality solar, it's MRE. Call 632-2613. MRE, the smarter choice.
Awaiting a decision at this hour on a mega merger. Will a federal judge give the green light to AT&T's bid to buy Time Warner? The Justice Department challenged it with an antitrust case. Fox Business Network's Edward Lawrence at the courthouse in D.C.
The government says that the combined company would be so large that it could set distribution prices as well as limit competition to the marketplace. The government also says that the combined companies would raise prices on customers because of the reduced competition. Now, AT&T argued that the larger company needs to be put in place in order to compete with those big tech firms who are now producing their own shows like Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, also Google.
The decision will come after a 7-week trial, which could have far-reaching impacts on other deals, including the Disney agreement to buy 21st Century Fox. The verdict is in on the cause of a deadly house explosion in Ohio, where police are now looking for a person of interest.
Police say it wasn't a gas leak inside a home in East Cleveland that exploded Sunday, but that pipes were tampered with by an alleged scrapping ring that messed up.
We have one person deceased, and we have another person that's in critical condition. I don't think it was worth whatever amount of change any scrapyard's going to give you for that.
Police Chief Michael Cardilli, a third person is in custody. A fourth is being sought. Sunday's blast destroyed the home, left 5 other houses uninhabitable, damaged others, and blew out windows for blocks. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
A shout out to the families from the Stanley Cup MVP, Capitals captain Alexander Ovechkin.
Moms, dads, brothers, wives, kids. Just happens because they support as much as you are.
Today's victory parade on NBCSW, the first for a major pro sports team in D.C. since the NFL's Redskins in 1992. Meantime, at this hour, a parade in Oakland for the NBA champion Warriors. Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
What would you do with unlimited internet? With Docomo Pacific, the possibilities are endless. Docomo Pacific is throwing off the data caps so you can enjoy more of the things you love. Watch, stream, download, and play with no end in sight. Stop by any of our stores or check out DocomoPacific.com to learn more. Life becomes limitless with Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Did you hear that Morrico Equipment on Ipoh Road in Tuning is now an employee-owned company? It's called an ESOP, or ESOP, which stands for Employee Stock Ownership Plan. Collectively, the employees now own Morrico Equipment. Morrico made this change in response to the U.S. military buildup on Guam to retain key employees and to recruit new ones. There's now strong motivation for employees as owners to take responsibility for their role in the company. If you're interested in talking to Morrico about future employment prospects, please apply through their webpage, morricoequipment.com.
In this divided world, there are still a few things that unite us. The thrill of an exciting championship game.
Fires to the end zone. Touchdown!
The sound of great music.
The Grammy goes to...
And the love we have for that perfect burger. Ruby Tuesday Guam presents to you For the Love of Burgers menu. For a limited time, we want you to put down that fork, tuck that napkin in your collar, and go for broke with an amazing burger for just $11.99. 8 burgers to try, and time isn't wasting. Ruby Tuesday Guam lunchtime. See you soon.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. My name is Alicia Blas from Agate, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Putehi Igomamu. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
More than 40 local companies have partnered with Take Care to bring you some of the best deals across the island through the Take Care Affinity Rewards program. From Spa Bali, Guam Reef and Gabriel's Restaurant to Tango Theaters, Dolce Frutti, and many more. Take Care members can simply present their membership cards at our partner locations to receive a special offer or discount. For a complete listing of Take Care's affinity partners and deals, visit TakeCareAsia.com or check out our Take Care app for all the latest updates.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 6 a.m. this Wednesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan, and here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Air Force One touching down at Andersen Air Force Base about 2 a.m. this morning, and Governor Eddie Calvo went aboard to greet President Donald Trump, who was making a brief pit stop here on island on his way back from the Singapore summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The president's plane was on the ground for about an hour and a half for a refueling stop. Trump had headed on to Hawaii. Adelup says the governor gave President Trump a religious scapular symbolizing world peace and thanked him on behalf of the people of Guam for his efforts to bring peace to the Asia-Pacific region. Local media were not provided base access, although the Guam Daily Post was able to get some pictures of Air Force One from outside the fence. Earlier, Governor Calvo released a statement lauding Trump's efforts to pursue peace with North Korea, especially in light of North Korea's threats to launch missiles towards Guam. Delegate Madeline Bordallo also issued a statement welcoming talks with Kim, but she said she was disappointed that human rights violations were not extensively discussed during the Singapore summit. Following that summit yesterday, President Trump announced that he had agreed to halt U.S. military exercises in South Korea and suspend bomber aircraft flyovers from Guam over the Korean peninsula. The president said we'll be stopping the war games and we'll be saving a lot of money. The president also said North Korea has committed to a full removal of its nuclear arsenal, but no firm timeline was announced. When the international and U.S. press asked whether a firm timeline had been made, Trump was unable to give a firm deadline. We'll have more news after this.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
Chili's Rib Fest is back. You can get saucy with their fall-off-the-bone, slow-smoked half-rack of ribs for $10.99. Available in original, roasted garlic, or honey chipotle flavors. Served with home-style fries. Add an additional half-rack of ribs for just $7. Low and slow is the key to more flavor. Chili's Rib Fest for $10.99. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
Baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
10 minutes past 6 a.m. here at The Point. 2 separate priority mail parcels shipped to Guam in May have yielded nearly 6 pounds of crystal methamphetamine after being intercepted by federal law enforcement officials. Search warrants for the 2 packages were unsealed yesterday in Guam's district court. One parcel came from Hawaii and the other from California. The package from Hawaii held more than 5 pounds of meth. It was addressed to a post office box in Agate. A tracking device was placed inside. It was delivered on May 2nd, but the court documents don't say who received it or whether any arrest was made. The other package, also opened on May 2nd, contained 459 grams of meth. It had been mailed from Los Angeles to a residence in Chalan Pago. A tracking device also placed in that parcel, but the court documents don't reveal whether it was delivered or whether anyone was arrested in that case either. The lone Republican gubernatorial team for this year's election made it official yesterday. Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio and his running mate, former Senator Tony Atta, formally filed their candidacy papers with the Guam Election Commission. Supporters, family, and friends crowded the GEC office as the candidates signed the election documents. Afterwards, they stepped outside for a rally. Tenorio recalled standing there in front of the GCIC building for the first time 8 years ago with his partner, outgoing Governor Eddie Calvo, when they launched their campaign for Adelup. Tenorio reviewed the accomplishments of their 2 terms together, citing record tourism numbers and the reduced unemployment rate. Tenorio then spoke about some of his goals to provide free college tuition and low-income housing if he is elected governor. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray has got the weather in hand.
Yeah, all right, this is the weather that scooted Air Force One off the island. Partly cloudy skies and isolated showers, becoming mostly cloudy this evening. Winds east up to about 15 miles an hour. Expected highs today warm, 89 degrees with max afternoon heat index about 101. Overnight lows tonight, a little bit cooler, 78 degrees. Sunset tonight at 6:48. Sunrise this morning was at 5:53. And as we like to do here, hold on a second. Let me pull up. What do I want here? Radar. We'll start with the radar and then go to the massive satellite imagery. And it doesn't look like. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Let me just refresh this. Let's go to the satellite imagery real quick while the other one refreshes. Sorry.
Yeah, radar's a whole lot easier to explain because the satellite looks like a mess of scrambled eggs out there.
It sure does.
That dry slot you see kind of moving towards Guam right now, that's the reason for these heat indices that are going to be way up there today. We're going to get a lot of mostly clear skies to partly cloudy skies, lots of sunshine. The humidity's way up there. Blobbage down to the lower right, the right and down. That's what may bring us some showers over the next couple of days. And another big blob of stuff up to our northwest, up and left. I'm not even sure where that came from. So, yeah, things are changing quickly. We're in that season where there's a shift from the winter patterns to the summer pattern where the heat's really starting to build up in the ocean and the disturbances are flowing in from east to west. And satellite, I mean, you can see radar here, just a few showers and things down to the southeast, but nothing really big.
All right, so not a lot of rain today and expected to be very warm.
Very warm.
101 is what the heat index is going to feel like today. 6:13, that's news and weather together on The Point, brought to you by Bank Pacific, where others put branches, they place roots.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Portions of the program brought to you by King's Restaurant. They've got these fantastic lunch specials that happen on a regular basis. So they got the, what is it? Today's Wednesday? Beef sinigang, right? Or pork sinigang. We have pork. I don't think there is such a thing as beef sinigang, is there? Has anybody tried?
If we're talking about Filipino, no, there's not. There is chicken, I think, and chicken and pork.
So, all right. So the pork sinigang is today. Tomorrow, maybe, just because they don't want to make me out to be a liar, maybe tomorrow they'll have beef sinigang or meatloaf. Actually, meatloaf is the American version of beef sinigang.
There we go.
Right?
I like that.
I just hate being wrong. I just absolutely hate
you're
being
never
wrong.
wrong on this show.
All right, so name on the door, all of that stuff. 6:14 in the morning. If you don't like that, they've got the pick 2 or pick 3 combos. That's what's happening for lunch today at King's.
Connect to more this summer. With fiber internet from GTA, you get up to 50 megabits of data per second for only $50 per month. And if that's not enough, Fiber Internet 50 plan includes free Wi-Fi. But this offer ends June 30, so sign up today and get ready for faster downloads, more streaming, a better gaming experience, and a stable connection across multiple devices. Conditions may apply. Visit GTA.net for more details. GTA, your island, your network.
Portions of the program also brought to you by American President Lines, where APL is shipping the future.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. This is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3. That is the Point FM. And delighted to have you here. Kevin Kerrigan takes care of the news, Mike with the weather, and the button pushing at 888-8255. And take a look and see who's lurking with us on the Facebook Live thing. And folks, if you're watching on Facebook Live, you're absolutely treated to some spectacular imagery that we got early this morning of Governor Eddie Jerome Baza Calvo in not quite an embrace, but standing over President Donald J. Trump.
It was a very Trumpish embrace.
It's kind of. Is it? What do you think, Kevin? How do you describe the embrace between Governor Eddie and
purely political?
Do you think it's political? So I'm hoping later to get some time maybe with the governor, talk about the experience. And
I mean, wouldn't that have been great to allow the media to?
I would have stole everything.
Yeah,
I would have like matchbooks and coasters, anything with Air Force One, the presidential seal. I would have won. See, Eddie, I would have worn the jacket, right? So you can just spirit all that stuff away.
It was so frustrating yesterday. They played so coy with us, even when we produced the White House schedule. They said, "Well, we don't know anything."
They came to. They went all the way to Singapore without stopping on Guam. Maybe they can make it all the way to Hawaii. They can go around the world. They don't need to stop anywhere, and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, even when confronted, here's the story from the Washington Post that says they're coming to Guam.
And here's the White House schedule
that says they're coming to Guam.
Sorry, no comment.
So who did we tick off that they wouldn't give you the media access?
I don't know.
I'm not normally one of those guys, but the president, and there's a lot more to Americans on Guam than just the guys on the other side of the fence. I'm just why are they?
It's all security, that sort of thing. But remember, Obama flew in, same thing.
Yeah.
They kept us outside the fence, so we had to wait outside the gate and watch Air Force One pass above in the night.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty plane, that's for sure. That's for sure. So we'll see what we can find out. There's a lot of talk about the summit, and I don't know about you. I was busy doing all kinds of other stuff. I got people texting me. Oh my God, they shook hands. Oh my God, the red carpet. Oh my God, did you get? Hold on. I wish I had the camera on. So this is Kevin Kerrigan shrugging off this great historical moment. You want to do that again? So that was this is what I come away with, and so I'm sitting with some people last night, and the conversation come up, and I said, in my lifetime, In my lifetime, there have been a number of major events, and these are the same ones that you remember from covering news and everything over the last 30 years. When we were little boys, all three of us, when we were growing up, I mean, there was the Cold War. I mean, it was a factor, it was a feature in our lives. People ask me, I say, you live on Guam, what's it like, with the North Koreans? I say, well, we've been living like this since the end of the Second World War, since there have been nukes, since the Russians have had nukes, and since the Chinese have had nukes. We've always been a target, for heaven's sakes. Anderson Air Force Base, Strategic Air Command, right? And so it doesn't necessarily faze me, but you watch over all of these years. So you remember where you were when we started reporting about the wall coming down in Berlin.
Yep.
I mean that's something that we have witnessed in our lifetime. And you remember watching
Tiananmen Square.
Tiananmen Square.
Yeah.
And so, as we watched a few weeks ago, the presidents of North and South Korea holding hands, walking across the DMZ, and now a president of the United States of America meeting with the third-generation despot in North Korea, the supreme leader, and Dennis Rodman. And Dennis Rodman.
Who wasn't invited. But he went anyway.
No, I'm telling everybody that Dennis Rodman did what Hillary Clinton.
Bitcoin T-shirt.
Yeah, no, not Bitcoin. Wasn't it Potcoin?
Potcoin T-shirt.
Yeah. But I'm telling everybody, I said Dennis Rodman has done what Hillary Clinton and John Kerry couldn't do. Right? Is get the United States together, at least in this form, in this fashion.
All credit due to Rodman.
I ain't high, I'll tell you that, man. I don't feel nothing, man.
Well, you got to have a perspective, and that's the perspective that I have. So those of you watching on the Facebook Live, there's an image of Governor Eddie Jerome Bazacalva walking up the steps into the belly of Air Force One. I guess there's another set of stairs because it used the. I guess that's. I don't want to say that's the service entrance, but it looks like that's the service. It does, doesn't it? It looks like that's where we go when we're here's the governor. It was the presidential Coca-Cola, and here's the presidential whatever. This is where we sneak the chicks, right? Up that set of stairs. So he's going up there, and I can almost hear him going, "Oi, oi, anybody else?" That's the noise that you got to make. For those of you that are wondering, where you see that every once in a while, somebody go, "Oi." And you might wonder why. What that is that's you announcing your presence and announcing your presence friendly so that you don't get shot by the property owner. That's what Eddie's doing. He's walking up the stairs going, "Oi, it's only me, Governor Guam.
Anybody home?
Anybody here?" That's what it looks like, doesn't it? Anyway. So we'll play around with that, and for those of you that missed it, you'll be able to. That's going to be all over Facebook this morning. By the way, those are if not the governor's office and his press people, there are going to be a bunch of other folks this week. I think these came from somebody in the White House, right? Do you know where?
I believe that those came from Adelup itself. It was clear that they had a photographer there that went along with Governor Calvo, and they pushed that out as quickly as possible.
I thought I'd seen
on the governor's tweet. Yes, and then another one
It's
came
clear they took the picture from inside a vehicle, though. You can see the reflection.
Well, you're good.
Yeah.
Got that forensic skill, right?
Well, that's why I'm the conspiracy guy.
Oh, that's right. Are there any conspiracies here afoot that you see on this?
Well, I'm thinking up of some. Give me some time.
Yeah, it's only 6:22. We got until 10 o'clock to come up with some really, really good controversies.
Yeah, I was on beer number 3
conspiracies.
last night, and I was coming up with some pretty good ones. Then I forgot all about them.
That's the problem with beer number 3. So there was an actual document signed, and seriously, because in my mind, you don't understand. I mean, never mind the historical significance of this, and I'm not going to try to underplay it, or try not to overplay it, as a matter of fact. But this could make a difference for us. So Mike and I are talking about it first thing in the morning, and once you get past a little bit of the historical significance, and I'm going to say that a lot just to tick off people that don't like Donald Trump. But when you get past that, you think about the opportunities that we have. It has been how many years, and this last round with the North Koreans had been pretty scary to a lot of people, including the very twitchy Japanese tourists, if you'll recall. And a lot of them said, "Well, I'm not sure if I want to go to Guam if they're going to, have a bright flash go up over the place. I don't know about that." But now here we are at touching the edge of maybe a peace. In the Korean Peninsula.
Yeah, from a personal standpoint, I'm not really a Trump guy. I'm not so much against him either. I just think he's a
it'd be
little
long hair you
embarrassing
had.
sometimes.
I'm sorry. I just, are you sure?
Yeah. I mean, he can be a little embarrassing sometimes, but if he gets the job done, that's all I care about. And I have to look at this and say, okay, good on him if North Korea can actually live up to what they've promised. And that's the
what did we get? We got a promise from him, and what did we give them? No more flyovers, no more military exercises. We gave up more than we got.
Well, but we're going to get the POW remains. They're going to be working on that. They've got all of the hostages that they've apparently taken. There was a document signed. There was some kind of document signed.
Paper.
Jaundiced journalist. I've seen it all.
Well, it is North Korea. I mean, they've never lived up to an agreement they've made with us.
Exactly.
Before.
Well, just let it ride for a little bit, guys. Just let it ride.
All right,
Enjoy it for a minute.
Yeah.
The document says, convinced that the establishment of a new U.S. DPRK relations will contribute to the peace and prosperity of the Korean Peninsula and of the world, and recognizing the mutual confidence building can promote the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, President Trump and Chairman Kim Jong-un state the following. Number one, the United States and the DPRK commit to establish new U.S. DPRK relations in accordance with the desire of the peoples of the two countries for peace and prosperity. The United States, here's number two, the United States and DPRK will join their efforts to build a lasting and stable peace regime on the Korean Peninsula. Number three, reaffirming the April 27, 2018 Panmunjom Declaration, the DPRK commits to work toward complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Want to turn that up?
Yeah, it's a great drum solo.
That's right. That's it. Trump gets the drum solo today. The United States, here's number four, and the DPRK commit to recovering POW and MIA remains, including the immediate repatriations of those that have already been identified. And it goes on for a little bit more, but finally it ends with this before they get to the signature block. President Donald J. Trump of the United States of America and Chairman Kim Jong-un of the State Affairs Commission of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea have committed to cooperate for the development of new U.S. DPRK relations and for the promotion of peace, prosperity, and the security of the Korean Peninsula of the world. And they signed a contract. They've got an agreement. That's the way that works. And then everybody split, and they had tequila shooters and Jägermeisters,
nice.
Jaeger bombs.
Jaeger bombs.
And then that was it. Trump got on the airplane and flew to Guam, where he met with Governor Eddie Jerome Baza-Calvo. There's, in addition to the pictures that I've got of Eddie getting on the airplane and the not quite embrace, just kind of, it's you know how it is, like you're at a function and somebody's sitting down, they don't want to get up, but you want a picture of it, so you got to stand behind them.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's
it's kind of like a politician's equivalent to a passing fist bump.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull that one, stick that one on the Facebook Live so everybody can see. This is what your governor was up to in the early morning hours, meeting and greeting with President Donald J. Trump. What's he holding in his hand? Is that it? Gov, did you swipe a pen from Air Force? I'm sorry, I totally would have been all
You'd
about
have
that.
to take something. I mean, come on.
The vomit bag. I want to grab the vomit bag, right? Just. It's a memento.
Would have been the first thing I'd reach for.
This is why I work here.
I got Kevin's in a weird spirit this morning. That's great. Anyway, so there was what else is on the table? What else was I supposed to talk about today? Was there other? Do you remember?
Whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so today,
GMH.
Circling the wagons, huh? Is that what we want to call that?
Wow.
They're circling the wagons. Had a press conference yesterday. She lied. Everything she said was a lie. None of it is true. Don't believe Dr. Shimabukuro. You know how you can tell she was lying? Her lips are moving. Didn't Benita say that yesterday?
Close to it.
Misrepresentations of facts, I tell you. All right, but I got to do this because you know what? We should. It's a feature we should have all the time, right?
Yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah.
The extreme turd alert. You could use that phrase almost anywhere, couldn't you? So you know, we've got a lot of criminal sexual conduct around here. We got all these CSE cases of kids. Just presume that those people will end up being extreme turd alerts. But there's one here. This is awful. Crystal Paco reports on KUAM taking money from the elderly, or at least that's the charge against 33-year-old Timothy Domingo. Court documents state the 72-year-old victim noticed several unauthorized transactions from her savings account, many of which were for $500 or more. The transactions traced back to Domingo, who reportedly stated he'd pay her back, then never did for the full amount. Domingo is charged with theft of property with a special allegation for a vulnerable victim stealing money from old people. That's not a good sound effect for a turtle.
Yeah, well, that's I didn't think I would actually come across somebody like this here.
Yeah, no, it's a growing problem. Yeah. It is a growing problem, and I've talked to people about this and asked, why do you think that is? And in a lot of cases, the line that they give me is the generation maybe that you and I are from, you and I and Kevin are from, is kind of we're still kind of in that ancestor worship generation. Love our mother, love our father, appreciate everything that they gave us, and then the problem is there's a generation of people that spoiled their kids, coddled their kids, not a lot by way of discipline of their kids. So when their kids run into financial issues, when they run into hard times, they go running back to their parents and just incapable of taking care of themselves through these problems.
The worship angle has shifted
completely
from the older to now the kids are the ones being worshipped.
And 72 years old, you're vulnerable, you can't fight back, and somebody's got your PIN, somebody's got access to your checking account, and all of a sudden they're stealing their money because they don't know that they can't. Nobody ever told them that you don't do that to old people. Nobody had ever said you don't treat your relation that way. You don't treat your mom and dad and grandparents that way. So they don't know any better is the line of thinking. But we've got to dig up, at least in this case, a cool sound effect for the extreme turd alert. Those of you that are lurking on Facebook, you're more than welcome to chime in with your suggestions on what it could be. Good smiling, Ray. Is it tax refund effect? Jay Ward, Julian is asking, or is it Julian J. Ward? I don't know. Sometimes on Facebook it's last name first, first name last. I don't know. I know it's not. For me, it's not the tax refund effect. Or maybe you're talking about something else. Who? Oh, the smile on Eddie's face. Is that what you're saying? The smile on Eddie's face in the picture with Donald Trump? Do you think that might be the tax refund effect? I don't. It seems to me it wouldn't be. Eddie didn't like the Trump tax cuts. He didn't. I mean, that we were already stinging with the hospital, and then we had to shift to make up for. Did Eddie, when you were there with the president, did you say, "Hey, could we have $67 million?" Because according to my guys, that's what it cost us. Your Trump tax cuts. You wouldn't happen to have that on the plane, would you? Is there an Air Force One safe?
Help a brother out here. Gosh.
Yeah.
I'm willing
or would
to.
that qualify as an example of today's turtle alert? Is trying to get Trump's 72 years old, isn't he?
That's a toss. That's a toss-up. Yeah, I'm willing to give the governor the benefit of the doubt. I think any of us that were to walk on to Air Force One would pretty much have a smile on our face. So,
yeah, I don't know that I would have been confrontational.
Oh no, of course not.
I would have brought
polite, And...
What about where's Calvo? Where's Mark Calvo? Where's the chief of staff? Mark, go bite somebody. And get me a couple of vomit bags from the back. It's 6:32. Time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Hafa Day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, the former administrator of Guam Memorial Hospital is now earning a living as an Uber driver outside of Portland, Maine. Ted Lewis telling the Guam Daily Post that he had an accomplished career in hospital management, and then he was kicked out at GMH and made to look like he'd done something terribly wrong, which he hadn't, he said. Lewis spoke to the Guam Daily Post by phone from Maine after learning that the governor's former communications director, Troy Torres, had admitted that he conducted a campaign to oust Lewis from his position as administrator at GMH back in 2015. Lewis said that he knew that people were trying to force him out, but he wasn't aware it was led by the governor's former communications director. Lewis said he's thankful now for the public vindication. Edward Baza pleading guilty to conspiring to deliver 123 grams of methamphetamine. The criminal charges for his alleged female accomplice, Josephine Leon Guerrero, have now been dismissed. Baza now faces up to 5 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release for picking up a package of meth. He's scheduled to be sentenced on September 6th. The trial of 27-year-old Jonovan Latian Cruz continues today in Superior Court. Cruz charged in connection with the robbery of RU Game Room in Dededo. Witnesses were asked about a search of Cruz's residence yesterday, and jurors watched a surveillance video of the robbery. Cruz faces separate criminal charges for his alleged involvement in a string of robberies that occurred from May 16th to May 21st at the Lucky Land Game Room and of tourists at Retidian Beach and Retidian Point. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Somebody is referring to the body language on the picture with the governor and Eddie, and so the governor and the president. Let me just put that back on. Okay, those of you that are the psych geniuses on the listening out in the audience, if you've got a copy of the picture, if you don't, go to Facebook. It's all over the place. I think KUAM's got copies of it, and PNC's got copies of it, so you should be able to find it. The picture of Governor Eddie Calvo standing over Donald Trump. Now, as I look at it, does it look like Trump is kind of angling away from the governor? Let me know what your read is on the body language. I'm curious as to what the analysis is going to be here.
Trump looks like he just woke up.
He might have. Wait, who's there? The governor of Guam? They have a governor? Did I appoint him? No. Oh, they've got elections here. How about that? It's 6:35. That's iConnect time. Connect longer for less with iConnect's push to talk and mobile plans.
With the largest inventory of rental equipment on Guam, East West Rental Center is sure to have the tool you need to get your job finished quickly. From equipment rental, party rental, parts and service to used equipment, East West Rental Center has what you need. Call East West Rental Center at 646-1463 or visit them online and browse through their online rental catalog at eastwestrental.com. They're located in Upper Tumon, right across St. John's School. East West Rental Center, providing the island of Guam with quality equipment rentals since 1972.
At Cold Stone Creamery, Dads, take the cake this Father's Day. He'll love the new Oreo Cookies and Cream Extreme Ice Cream Cake, plus the tall, dark, and delicious ice cream cake. Order yours online at coldstonecakes.com. Only at Cold Stone Creamery. They're the ultimate ice cream experience.
Rain. It's nature's way of cleansing the earth. Yet by the time that rainwater makes its way to your home, it may not be exactly the same as nature created it. A Connecticut water treatment system can improve the quality of the water you and your family drink and use throughout your home, so you can be sure your water is clear, clean, and fresh, just as nature intended it to be. Connecticut, for refreshing ideas on water.
American Water Tech. Smarter water, better water. Call American Water Tech, 649-2301, or email info@americanwatertech.com. We have got an American Water Tech purification and water distribution system that we're giving away on the occasion of the 100th episode of The Ray Gibson Show. How do you win it? I'll give you a chance to play and win the Ray Gibson News Quiz a little bit later on. Become a daily winner. All daily winners line up for a shot at the prize that we will draw for on the 100th episode of this program that you're listening to right now. So the traffic music is playing in the background, and I honestly cannot see any traffic on my gizmo. There were a couple of things up around Dededo beginning to swim around, and I think what happened was everybody said, forget it, it's Wednesday, go back to bed. There's absolutely no reason to get up. Not going to be a war with North Korea. President Trump has come and gone. That's it for the day. Go back to bed, and we'll get caught up at Wings Night. 6:37, that's what's happening in traffic. Right now, traffic, as a matter of fact, right here on The Point.
Stop by any Circle K today and overload your For Real. It's simple. Pick out your favorite For Real shake, blend it, and then mix and match any two toppings for only $1. Overload your For Real with a variety of sweet treats like Oreo cookies, gummy bears, classic M&Ms or peanut M&Ms, and Reese's peanut butter cups. Simply add them to your For Real shake for an overload experience and enjoy. For Real Overload, only available at participating Circle Ks. Circle K, take it easy.
Morning talk that matters. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
to have the usual group and some other interesting names attached to Facebook Live this morning. I see John Larimer, David Evans, the singer, Dion Shinahara. Joe Michael is there. Joseph Michael. They say, are you in radio? A lot of radio guys have two first names. Hey, it's Joseph Michael right here on The Point. Therese Montanani, I got Lynn Polino and Maria Castillo, Adonis Mendiola, Roy Burgess, and who was it? Maria Flores Castillo says, love chicken wings. Now I try to remember to title our Facebook Live get-togethers, and today our get-together is called, I think it's Chicken Wing Wednesdays. And yeah, you know what? I love chicken wings too. And the reason why it's Chicken Wings Wednesday is homage and tribute to one of my favorite places in Tumon that does a great chicken wing night. You can get drinks there. It's always an interesting crowd that rolls in there. So that's what sticks in my head on Wednesday mornings. But thanks for noticing. And so if you ping me offline, I will tell you where that place is. Jay Ward, Julian is there, and Roy Burgess, Noreen Tovis Phillips. Hello, Princess. Nice to see you there. Nates is online. Heard, then saw Air Force One fly over my area around 1:45. Unusual time for low-flying planes to Anderson Air Force Base. That's why. Yeah, normally the low-flying planes don't come in quite that early in the morning. Usually that early in the morning, if it's flying low, it's not an airplane. It's actually a UFO that lands at the secret UFO base at Anderson Air Force Base. I wish I could spend some time talking about it, but you know it's all confidential. I'd have to kill you when it's all done. 6:40 in the morning, and look who is on the line. Hey, Pudding, how you doing?
Hoppin' day, Ray. How are you doing, dear?
I'm doing fantastic. Margaret Metcalf from the governor's office in Washington, D.C. is on the line. Are you on Guam right now?
No, sir. I wish I were, but no. I'm back on the mainland in D.C. working out for the governor.
When are you coming back? Because now, when Margaret and last time I saw Margaret, I was needing to buy some wine over at Payless, and she helped me through the maze because I don't know anything about wine, and she helped and made some suggestions. So when are you coming back?
Well, as soon as I'm able to do so. I have to tell you, Ray. Right now things are so busy, and we have some opportunities in such a short window to work with, and the governor, as you know, is having us work double time just to make sure that all of his issues are being brought up. So I'm pretty much knocking on doors on a daily basis trying to get his message out there. But I wanted to, if it's okay with you, I just wanted to share something with you. You mentioned earlier in your program that that the governor was upset with the tax reform, and maybe that he should have brought it up to our president this morning. Well, it really was a situation where I believe our governor is happy for tax reform for our residents and our taxpayers and our businesses on Guam. It's just that we had restrictions on bringing in workers, so that there was a hurdle to igniting our economy and just trying to make up for that shortfall. And things are coming along now, and I think that you're all going to be pleased with what the governor's been able to accomplish. And I think that little by little we will recognize the benefits of what's happening. And President Trump, I got a call prior to his plane landing in D.C. from the White House. Mm-hmm. His plane landing in Anderson. And they were telling me that they were going to be able to meet with the governor. And I can tell you that I think that the reasoning behind it is because President Trump truly understands the sacrifice that the Guamanians have played being on the front line there, and the fears and the hurdles that we've had to undergo. And I believe that this was an effort to reach out to our governor and let him know that he wasn't, being kind of forgotten because it was 3 a.m. and our governor made the point of being there. And I just wanted to let you know, hon, it really, with your platform and the people you reach out to and your followers, everyone needs to know this is a truly historical event. And we just need to be thankful that all the prayers have come together, and we've been allowed to experience this. But anyway, you know me, Ray. I'm a talker, and I appreciate all you do. I don't always call in, but I do listen to you, and it's been a pleasure to have you back on the air.
Oh, thanks so.
And,
thanks so much.
I want to make one other point, and that is when everybody sees Juan Carlos Benitez, they should shake his hand, because with Juan Carlos's help, we've worked very hard to make sure that this meeting this morning was able to come about. And I just want people to recognize that there are some folks in the back room that are still pounding the pavement.
Well, it's nice to know that everybody around here is working 24 hours a day. Now you had telegraphed, and I would not be able to earn any journalism stripes unless I was able to probe you a little bit more for this. You had telegraphed that there are going to be some changes. There are going to be some things coming soon, perhaps having to do with the H-2Bs and lifting certain restrictions. Certainly on the we've seen it happen through the NDAA on the military buildup and on federal projects, but we really need the help to get a lot more H-2B boots on the ground so that we can get a lot of civilian work done now. Are you suggesting that you are close to some kind of positive conclusion on that issue?
Well, I think that those questions should probably run by Governor Calvo, because he gets them firsthand. But I can tell you.
Well, yeah, but you're the one that brought it up. You were talking about buildup and H2 issues and the need to get our construction game off the ground. So I got to ask.
Well, that's right. And if you listen to Secretary Nielsen with the USCIS, even she has gone out on a limb to say that they are going to make efforts. And we have had positive reports back from our partners with DOD and with immigration. And I think that our governor is going to see great strides forward in this regard. And I know that it's because he's probably been here in D.C. over the last 2 years more than any other governor has been in D.C. Over a period of a 4-year period. And so, and he's also got more insight because of his connections with the White House. He is, I think every time the governor comes out, we're meeting with just about every secretary, assistant secretary, director, or administrator, and they welcome Governor Calvo because he is easy to work with and to talk with, and he has a knack of explaining what's happening on Guam in a way that they can appreciate it. It's not just all facts and figures and reports and white papers. He reaches out to them, and he gets the message across. So I believe that you're going to see a lot of movement in that area, and I think our governor is doing the best that he can right now.
Is there a timeline, do you think, where we might hear something? Is this so we might hear it before the end of June, maybe through the summertime?
Well, you know, Ray, this is our governor terms out this year, and he recognizes that he has a short window of opportunity, and he's working it. I can tell you that. I know it because I get calls through the night at all times, and I don't think there's a lot of downtime. He has people going into things and making reports for me so I can supply them to the folks over here so that we can justify our requests and along the way. And right now, his team is working very hard, but no one's working harder than the governor right now. Okay, well, I'm not going to suggest that you've given us a lead here, but I think maybe if I get a chance to spend some time on WhatsApp with Oyal and maybe even Governor Eddie Calvo, we'll see if there's any news on this front, something that we can take to publish and turn into a news story here. I do appreciate your time. If I can, not only that, but if I can get some information for you that has been cleared with the governor, I'll be glad to send it over to you so you'll have it firsthand. Got it. Ray Gibson Show at gmail.com. You and I are Facebook buddies, so send it to me that way. And we've got a couple of other mutual friends, and I want to make sure that before your day is over in Washington, D.C., go find Keith Parsky. Uh-huh. Do you know Keith? Where's Keith at, Kev?
No,
do you remember?
Interior.
Okay, call somebody over at the department. Whoever answers the phone over at the Department of Interior, tell him you want to talk to Keith Parsky and tell him that Kevin Kerrigan and Ray Gibson wish him a happy 64th birthday. Oh, I will do. And what's Keith's last name? Parsky, Parsky. It'll be done.
I appreciate it. He's one of our. You'll love the guy when you meet him. It's his birthday today, and frankly, I'm surprised that you haven't already met him at one of the functions over at the White House, because he's all about all of that. Today's his birthday, and we all love him. So I want to make sure that we get that out. Have you talked to the governor since the president left?
No, I haven't. It was prior to the.
I see. Okay, because
it was in the middle of the morning, so I'm kind of waiting.
Okay. Indian Affairs at Interior is where you need to be looking for Keith Parsky. Reason why I'm asking if you've talked to the governor is I wanted to find out if he's got any souvenirs from Air Force One.
Dave boy, that's what you wanted to know.
Well, yes, yeah. Well, I'll have to get it from him a little bit later on. That's got to be a perk. Have you ever been on Air Force One? I don't even know how many times Madeline has been on Air Force One for Evans. It doesn't happen all the time. So, like I said, I'd steal a toilet paper.
Oh my gosh! Well, I'll tell you what. I can assure you, aside from getting any souvenirs from Air Force One, I think our governor was looking for promises and commitments. And I'm hoping that he got the latter.
I'm hoping he got both. 6:50 in the morning. Pudding, it's always a delight talking with you. I'll see you pretty soon.
Hi, dear. God bless you, and say hi to your family.
Oh, wait. One last tiny question.
Yes.
The race for congressman is heating up here. We've got Doris Brooks, who will run against the winner of the primary election that will see Madeline Berdalio and Mike Sinicolas. Is there any interest on your part to run again as a Republican for delegate?
At this time, Ray, I feel that I'm actually able to accomplish more where I'm at as the governor's liaison to the executive branch and having the contacts that we now have. As opposed to working with the legislative branch where I would not have a vote on the floor. So that's where I'm at. I'm a senior citizen. My window of opportunity is short as well, and I'm trying to make the best use of my time. And I think that that is the best for Guam. And, you know, I just to let you know, I was a little bit disheartened when I heard Chris Barnett sort of tear us apart over there. And I really think that our young people, such as yourself, those of you that bring so much to the table and have so much experience and knowledge, need to recognize the sacrifice that people go through when they work in a service group like this, and maybe step up to the plate and offer some of these talents, because we truly need them. And I applaud Doris. I do applaud her because it is a sacrifice. It's a tremendous amount of work. And I hope the best for her. I do think that with the Republican administration that we're going to be much more vital and much more effective in getting what we need to get done if we have a Republican administration and legislature.
Well, that's it. You're hoping for a lot these days. I'm sure that you're up to speed on the number of people that are running for office and a number of names that will fall in the balance on either side. Some of which may or may not be qualified for the job. At any rate, Pudding, I gotta let you run. I'll take that as a no, and I'll let you run. I'll see you when you're home.
But I have to tell you something though. Justice Scalia, I was fortunate to be sitting with him.
That's the great Justice Scalia.
That's the way.
That's the great Justice Scalia. What did you say? You were on an airplane with him?
No. I was at a luncheon with him in Arizona, and he was sitting with me at the table. And this was in the heat of all the debates when we were having all of the candidates. Mm-hmm. And he told me straight out. He said, "None of us have the luxury of voting for who we like. We have to vote for who we need. Who's going to get the job done at the end of the day?" And I think our folks need to recognize who they like and who they need and put together a team that's going to work for them and get the job done on their behalf. But I'm just calling it as I see it. And we have a lot of opportunities, Ray, and I think our young people have a bright future ahead of them. Those of us that have been stewards for the island need to just put more effort into providing some direction, because it's right there for us to take advantage of. If we let it slip through our hands, it's our own fault.
Oh, and I've heard that so many times from people in Washington, D.C. in the know. 6:53. I'll talk to you again pretty soon, Pudding. You have a fantastic rest of the day.
Thank you, dear. God bless you.
Hug 6:53. This is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. Well, it's always nice to talk with Pudding. In real time, I guess, Washington, D.C., she had helped work, I guess, some of the behind-the-scenes back and forth between the governor's office here and the president's office over at the White House, and say, hey, we really like to get the governor on the airplane. I was scrolling through, not out of disrespect, mind you, but I was looking for something in particular in my Facebook feed. I'd seen it earlier, and I don't see it now. And no, it's not a picture of a girl. It's a picture of I want to say the governor went someplace and had some engraving done and passed along to the president of the United States, kind of a little like a trophy, like a congratulations, you got to shake the supreme leader's hand trophy. Do you have a copy of that?
No,
okay.
no, I don't.
All right, I'll dig it out. I'll find it. I'll see if I can stick it on the page. That's what I'll do, and get the rest of that. But it is one of the big stories that we've got here. The history that took place down in Singapore yesterday, and then the consequent flight to Guam. His next stop should be Honolulu, Hawaii, and then after that, it'll take him to all of the rest of the places. A conversation, perhaps, about maybe some kind of easing on the rules of H-2Bs. As I said, we've got the what's the word I want to say? I've been trying. We got the caps that we don't have to worry about now from the NDAA on federal projects, but we're still waiting out getting some H-2B guys on the ground here for all of the civilian projects.
The first group arrived this morning. Our photographer David Castro was out there to get some pictures of them.
You sent that. Now these are the H-2s that are allowed in under the NDAA cap deal, right?
For inside the fence military projects.
Okay, let me see if I can.
They're Cortec workers.
Okay. Oh, so you're going to know these guys.
That's right.
Kajaska, I need some tile work done. Some cabinet. No, I'm serious. Take a look out in the front. We need the reception
I guess to be
area.
accurate, they're apparently a subsidiary of Cortec. But, yep, yesterday there were 0. Today they're about 30 H-2B workers on island.
Okay, but these guys are destined to be working on those subsidiary projects on the far side of the fence, not on this side, right?
Right.
Okay,
correct.
so that's the second shoe that's got to drop is waiting on what's going to happen with those guys. So I'm hoping, as she said, Secretary Nielsen, I guess, is some of the people. We got to look up Secretary Nielsen and see if there's any action there, or maybe there's. I'm kind of hoping that she spilled the beans on something we might be able to get from Oya later on.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll work on that. At any rate, 6:56 in the morning. One of the other things, one of the other topics that we were playing around with just for a second is the Guam Memorial Hospital now. And if you were paying any attention in the last couple of days, you know that Dr. Kazuo Shimabukuro was very critical of her observations in her role as administrator at Guam Memorial Hospital. It's freaking me out. But you kill that. So as you would expect, and if you were listening yesterday, Peter John Camacho called up and very calmly tried to dispel some of the things that she had said, and the idea that we did a payless payday scam, that's not for real. This is why that happens. The idea that there might be $22 million in billing that they just haven't gotten around to doing yet because the doctors haven't signed off on the paper. He said, no, we don't know when that time frame is. I don't know what she's talking about there. Sure like to see more specifics on that. Benita Menglotnia says the number is, I think, a little bit closer to $2 million, and they are aggressively seeking the assistance of the doctors to make sure that those pieces of paperwork are signed off. And as you might imagine, they put together the Dog and Pony Show in front of members of the media, basically, and said, Shimabukuro lied. They're misrepresentations. It's not the truth. This is not what it is. What she said is no. It hurts us. It hurt our feelings over at Guam Memorial Hospital, as you imagine that they would have. So they're trying to make it so that anybody that bought what she was selling maybe ought to reconsider all of this. But I think the damage might have already been done. Senator Dennis Rodriguez, once upon a time, introduced his Resolution 345. And I'll go over, because it's been a while since I've read the thing. I remember there being a bunch of kind of unusual things in there that he was going to be asking for, but calling for an investigation. And now it looks like he has got the votes to pursue that investigation over at the legislature. Although somebody's going to have to look and make sure that this passes the legal smell test. According to the guys that work with Mary Torres at the legislature, they said it might be beyond the powers granted the legislature by the Organic Act. As Chief of Staff Josh Wilson says, the legislature has no power to conduct an investigation for the purpose of laying a foundation for criminal proceedings or to establish an extraordinary tribunal for the trial of executive officers and government employees. These are powers reserved to the executive and judicial branch. And as far as we know, nobody over at the Attorney General's office or the Governor's office is looking into this just yet. As I said, we'll talk about that and plenty more. It's going to be an interesting morning. I don't want you to go anywhere. Like, if you're going to work, take the app with you, take the Facebook with you, so that you can stay up on what we're talking about. Seconds away from 7 o'clock in the morning, the radio station is KUSG. Got you on the other side of Fox News Live. Kevin Kerrigan with a look at all of the big stories. That's ahead right here, 93.3. This is The Point.
Live from New York, The Fox Report.
I'm Lisa Brady. And this is a Fox News alert. A federal judge just clearing the way for a mega merger. AT&T's purchase of Time Warner. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal with this live.
Lisa, AT&T and Time Warner had argued that this was a vertical merger, and those are often approved because those are when two companies don't provide the same thing. AT&T distributes, Time Warner has the content like CNN and HBO. They'd argued the deal would actually help them stay competitive with the rise of Amazon, Hulu, and Netflix. But the Justice Department argued a merger would lessen competition, that they could potentially jack up the prices of the content for their rivals or restrict their rivals' ability to promote themselves by saying they offer something like HBO. Analysts say this decision will have big impacts on other deals, including Disney's purchase of 21st Century Fox assets, which Comcast now wants to bid on. Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. You can hear more on this in our podcast, the Fox News Rundown, tomorrow morning at foxnewsradio.com. They'll believe it when they see it. Some Democrats in Congress not buying North Korea's pledge to denuclearize. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says he's worried Kim Jong-un may be getting something for nothing.
Which is fine for him, but not fine for the safety of the citizens of the United States.
But Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says the U.S. has eyes wide open, and Republican Senator Lindsey Graham says he's cautious but optimistic.
The statement issued is a statement in principle. They will give up their nuclear weapons program. In return, we will guarantee their security and provide economic prosperity in North Korea. That's a good deal for everybody. We're a long ways from there.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is to lead more talks, expected to begin perhaps within a week. On the fine print, Wall Street, the Dow slips a point, but the S&P up 4 and a record close for the NASDAQ. On the Fox Report, fair and balanced.
Hey, it's your stomach talking. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Subway has all new signature wraps packed with meat and flavor. And I know flavor. Okay, maybe not as much as the mouth, that's kind of his job, but we talked, and he's a big fan of the Chipotle Southwest Steak and Cheese signature wrap. And it's super filling, so you don't have to hear from me for a few hours. Unless they play this radio spot again. Subway, make it what you want.
At Micronesia Renewable Energy, values matter. So all of their solar energy systems come with guarantees and the most value. No shortcuts, all quality. It's giving you that solar energy system at the best price. It's using highly efficient solar panels with typhoon-proven racking, built by highly skilled local technicians, so your system performs and saves you money. It's total peace of mind all the time. Not all solar companies are created equal. For experienced quality solar, it's MRE. Call 632-2613. MRE, the smarter choice.
CPAs on the Ad Council.
Voters at the polls in 5 states, more primaries to help finalize the November ballot for the midterm elections in the House and Senate. In Virginia, 3 Republicans battling to take on Senator Tim Kaine, Hillary Clinton's former running mate. South Carolina, North Dakota, Nevada, and Maine also in play today. Governor's races in 3 of the states. An apology from the president's trade advisor, Peter Navarro, for his special place in hell comment after last week's G7 summit when he accused Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of negotiating in bad faith and stabbing the president in the back.
I own that. That was my mistake. Those were my words.
Navarro at a Wall Street Journal conference today. Trudeau won't say if the apology is accepted, but Canada's foreign minister says she's still hoping to meet with the U.S. trade representative in Washington this week to continue talks on NAFTA. As a stalemate on immigration bills continues in the U.S. House, Senate Democrats are unveiling a new proposal aimed at stopping the separation of families at the border.
The administration is arguing that separations are required by law. But let me be clear, that's false. No law requires this action.
California Senator Dianne Feinstein says it's a policy that should be reversed. The president has said he, too, hates the separations, but that Congress needs to pass new border security laws. Feinstein says under the new proposal, children can only be separated from their parents at the border if the parents are accused of abusing or trafficking them. The oldest former president in U.S. history extends his record. George H.W. Bush turning 94 today, his first birthday without former First Lady Barbara Bush, who died in April. A spokesman says he's spending a low-key and relaxing day with family, including former President George W. Bush, at the summer home in Maine. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Howdy, folks. KFC's Colonel Sanders here. It's summer, and KFC has something extra special to spice it up with KFC's new Sriracha Extra Tasty Crispy Chicken. Yep, we kicked up our Pika chicken a notch with Sriracha. Sriracha! It's spicy, tangy, and sweet. You've never had Sriracha like this before, so spice up your summer with KFC's new Sriracha Crispy Chicken. KFC is finger-licking good.
Say hello to high-speed data on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. We've just upped your prepaid data, so make your big plans bigger with 1 gigabyte of data per day. Bigger prepaid data for your big plans that just keep getting better. Enjoy high-speed data and unlimited local talk and text on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. Text LTE to 3282, select a plan, and enjoy 1 gigabyte of data per day. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
More than 40 local companies have partnered with Take Care to bring you some of the best deals across the island through the Take Care Affinity Rewards program. From Spa Bali, Guam Reef and Gabriel's Restaurant to Tango Theaters, Dolce Frutti, and many more. Take Care members can simply present their membership cards at our partner locations to receive a special offer or discount. For a complete listing of Take Care's affinity partners and deals, visit TakeCareAsia.com or check out our Take Care app for all the latest updates.
Circle K has just made it easier to select products that are better for you and your healthier lifestyle. When looking for items that are low carb, low sodium, low calories, low sugar, high in antioxidants, or high in protein, just look for the easy-to-spot Better For You labels so you can find these items at a glance. Come by and see for yourself. It has never been more convenient to fill up on anything and everything that are better for you. Circle K. Take it easy.
With the largest inventory of rental equipment on Guam, East West Rental Center is sure to have the tool you need to get your job finished quickly. From equipment rental, party rental, parts and service to used equipment, East West Rental Center has what you need. Call East West Rental Center at 646-1463 or visit them online and browse through their online rental catalog at eastwestrental.com. They're located in Upper Tumon, right across St. John's School. East West Rental Center, providing the island of Guam with quality equipment rentals since 1972.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. this Wednesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Air Force One touching down at Andersen Air Force Base about 2 a.m. this morning, and Governor Eddie Calvo went aboard to greet President Donald Trump, who was making a brief pit stop here on Guam on his way back from the Singapore summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The president's plane was on the ground for about an hour and a half for a refueling stop. Trump then headed on to Hawaii. Adelup says the governor gave President Trump a religious scapular symbolizing world peace, and he thanked the president on behalf of the people of Guam for the president's efforts to bring peace to the Asia-Pacific region. Local media were not provided base access, although the Guam Daily Post was able to get some pictures of Air Force One from outside the fence. Earlier, Governor Calvo released a statement lauding Trump's efforts to pursue peace with North Korea, especially in light of North Korea's threats last year to launch a missile attack on Guam. Delegate Madeline Bordallo, meanwhile, also releasing a statement welcoming the talks with Kim, but she said she was disappointed that human rights violations were not extensively discussed during the summit. Guam Memorial Hospital Administrator Peter John Camacho gathering his management team and called in the media yesterday to refute the allegations made by Dr. Kozui Shimabukuro during her testimony Monday before the legislature. Camacho said her allegations definitely hurt the hospital, and he accused Dr. Shimabukuro of making numerous misrepresentations and distorting facts. He said there's been no change in Dr. Shimabukuro's title or her compensation. She is still the Assistant Associate Administrator of Medical Services at GMH, he said. Chief Financial Officer Benita Manglonia, meanwhile, took exception to a number of Dr. Shimabukuro's allegations. Manglonia called Shimabukuro's claim that the payless payday threat back in March was staged a fabrication. During her testimony, Dr. Shimabukuro also displayed a slide showing $22 million in unbilled medical records, but Manglonia said that's not accurate. She said the unbilled amount at GMH as of last week was about $2 million, and there was roughly $12 million now owed to vendors, said Manglonia. Medical Director Dr. Vince Duenas, meanwhile, said Dr. Shimabukuro's testimony did much to tear down the hospital rather than build it up. However, he said no disciplinary action is being contemplated against Shimabukuro, although a personnel action may be recommended to change her title. We'll have more news after this.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
Chili's Rib Fest is back. You can get saucy with their fall-off-the-bone, slow-smoked half-rack of ribs for $10.99. Available in original, roasted garlic, or honey chipotle flavors. Served with home-style fries. Add an additional half-rack of ribs for just $7. Low and slow is the key to more flavor. Chili's Rib Fest for $10.99. Available for a limited time. Chili's. More life happens here.
Baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
11 minutes past 7 a.m. here at The Point. The former administrator of Guam Memorial Hospital now earning a living as an Uber driver outside of Portland, Maine. Ted Lewis telling the Guam Daily Post that he had an accomplished career in hospital management, and then he was kicked out of GMH and made it look like he'd done something terribly wrong, which he had not, he said. Lewis spoke to the Guam Daily Post by phone from Maine after learning that the governor's former communications director, Troy Torres, admitted that he had conducted a campaign to oust Lewis from his position as administrator at GMH back in 2015. Lewis said he knew that people were trying to force him out, but he wasn't aware it was led by the governor's former communications director. Lewis said he is thankful for the public vindication now. The trial of 27-year-old Joavan Michael Cruz continues today in Superior Court. Cruz charged in connection with the robbery of the RU game room in Dededo. In court yesterday, witnesses were asked about a search of Cruz's residence and car. Jurors also watched a surveillance video of the robbery. Cruz is also facing separate criminal charges for his alleged involvement in a string of robberies that occurred from May 16th to May 21st at the Lucky Land game room and the robbery of tourists at Retidian Beach and Retidian Point. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Here's Ray with some weather.
Partly cloudy skies today with isolated showers, becoming mostly cloudy tonight. The most important thing that you need to know is it's gonna be hot. Maximum afternoon heat index today 101 degrees. Otherwise, east winds blowing 10 to 15 miles an hour in the shade. It'll be cooler, highs around 89 degrees. Overnight lows tonight should be about 78 degrees, so be prepared for the extra hot today. It's just very, very dry conditions out there. It's not raining a whole lot, and we don't have a whole lot of wind to move all of this hot air around, so it's going to be sticking around and being muggy for you. Sunset tonight, 6:48. Sunrise tomorrow morning at about 5:53. That's news and weather together here on The Point.
Water. It covers nearly 3/4 of our Earth, from vast oceans to millions of rivers and streams. We're all concerned with protecting our world's water, but none is more important than the water you and your family drink and use throughout your home. A Connecticut water treatment system can improve your water so that your family is using the best water in the world. Connecticut, for refreshing ideas on water.
American Water Tech. Smarter water. Better water. Call American Water Tech at 649-2301 or email info@americanwatertech.com. Are you eating lunch? Where are we eating lunch today? Maybe that's the way I ought to start this off. You know what? If you haven't, here's the thing. So you go through all of these places in your head. Oh, I had that last week. My friend said it's now good. You know what? You just go to King's. Just say, where are we eating lunch today? And the answer is going to be King's. You know why? Because you love the items in the menu over at King's. I'll give you another reason, because they're always adding new and unusual things to the menu, like this great lunch special that they have every weekday. Today, it's pork sinigang. Tomorrow, meatloaf. And Friday, beef tinaktak, plus the pick 2 or pick 3 combo. You know you're going to be satisfied, so just give into it and have your lunch at King's.
From September 17 to September 19, 2018, the Archdiocese of Agana will be conducting settlement conferences with victims of clergy abuse. If you have a claim and want to meaningfully participate in the September settlement conferences, call Hope and Healing Guam at 1-888-649-5288 before August 1st, 2018. All conversations with Hope and Healing Guam are confidential. If you have filed a lawsuit against the Archdiocese, you are already included in this settlement process.
Portion of the program brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. You know what's amazing? I looked at my phone just as I was saying that, and right on my phone is the FHB mobile app, the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. Can I just say I love that? It is my third most used app on the phone. There's WhatsApp, Facebook, and then there's the First Hawaiian Bank, just to see if anybody accidentally stuck money in my account. I check it about every 20 minutes. You can transfer funds between everything, and it's got a great security gizmo. So my phone has a fingerprint deal on it, right? So if I wanted to open it, then instead of typing in a code, I just put my fingerprint on the reader and it automatically logs into the account, which is great. You know why? I suck at passwords.
Yeah, well, make sure you use the correct finger.
No, it'll always. No, it's just the one good finger. Probably shouldn't say that. Now people are going to say, so what we'll do is we'll kidnap him, we'll cut his finger off, and then we'll use it on. It all starts with yes at First Hawaiian Bank.
In this divided world, there are still a few things that unite us. The thrill of an exciting championship game.
Fires to the end zone. Touchdown!
The sound of great music.
The Grammy goes to...
And the love we have for that perfect burger. Ruby Tuesday Guam presents to you For the Love of Burgers menu. For a limited time, we want you to put down that fork, tuck that napkin in your collar, and go for broke with an amazing burger for just $11.99. 8 burgers to try, and time is a-wasting. Ruby Tuesday Guam lunchtime. See you soon.
Ray Gibson brings you closer to the action. Any speaker, anytime. Morning talk that matters.
That's right. I bring you closer to the action. Now, it's just like you were there in Air Force One with President Donald J. Trump and Governor Eddie Jerome Bozzicalvo. It's just like you were there. Huh? Here. Hey, I got something for you. Here. Okay, take a look at this plaque while I steal your pen. Air Force One pen. And is that a notepad from the desk of President Donald J. Trump? Whoosh, gone. I'm sorry, a kleptomaniac like that. Because the opportunities just don't come up all that often. And Jerry Roberts' extra point coming up. But today is double dose of Jerry Roberts Day. Do you know why? Not because we're going to play the episode twice, but because today Jerry Roberts is also in the Guam Daily Post. He's got a column there. The Work Zone is what it's called in the Post. And today's topic: when you're the smartest one in the room. And I've read the whole thing. And Kevin, it doesn't have either of our names. You'd think he would have used us as, have you ever been in a room with Ray Gibson and Kevin Kerrigan? Then when you are, then you know you're not the smartest one in the room.
I'm staying away from that one.
What? Here, we can do this. When you're the smartest one on the page, how's that? I just kidding, because everybody's going to say you said that just because Roy Respiso's picture was also on the page. No. I'm just having fun. I'm just going for it. I'm just looking for an opportunity to give a plug to my friend Jerry Roberts because of all the work that he does to make sure that you are trained up with his extra points. So when you're the smartest one in the room, in print, and we'll find out in a few minutes what the deal is going to be for today. I wanted to go over the numbers now. Time to take a look at the markets and see where they all ended up. And I had them there for a second. And then I found a shiny story. It's going to take me a second. I'm going to call up a whole other page here while I'm doing this and bring those numbers back. No, it's not totally shiny. It's just that I looked at the numbers and said, oh, okay, that's about what I expected out of the Dow and the Nasdaq and whatever today. So and then I started looking for a story because I wanted to see if there was any financial news that is beginning to reflect on the summit that took place down in Singapore. And I might have found something, or I might have been distracted by something else. I'm not sure. The S&P 500 closed up by almost 5 points, 2786. The NASDAQ at 7703, up by about 43 points in the Dow Jones Industrial Average at 25,320. They're off by just under a couple of points. Not a big deal for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The international markets closed up yesterday, and based on what we saw in the summit, it's possible they might go on some kind of streak. We'll see. The Nikkei at 22,878, up by 74 points. Hang Seng's at 31,103, and the Shanghai Index up by 27 points to close at 3,080. And what do we got for the yen? Is the yen looking any good? Let me take a look at that number. The yen at 110.36. Is that worth going to Japan right now? I don't know. It depends on. I call the guys over at Jeju because they're flying between here and Osaka now. Oil, $66 and about 4 cents, which is down from last time we looked at it. And Tapas at $77.31. Again, I make a big deal about Tapas because the refined product from Tapas oil turns into the gasoline that goes into your car, regardless of which gas station that you're going to. That's the way it works. And by the way, depending on which gas stations you're going to, if you're not going to 76 Circle K, if for no other reason, the Colombian coffee. I had some of that this morning. Mm-hmm. Right?
Colombian's good.
Yes. I'm not making my own coffee today. I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and fill this thing up. $1.75. Right, $1.75, and I get this thing filled up with the coffee. And then the other thing is, because I bought the coffee, I get a free Guam Daily Post. Right, I get the promo copy of the Guam Daily Post. This is not a better deal.
That's a deal.
Yeah. So find out more about that. I forgot what I was going to say. Something about that's what happened in the markets. Very important information for those of you that are indexed to it. Now, as I said, I was going to see if I could find a story that was talking about the good news between the summit yesterday and what may or may not happen in the markets. But as you know, I'm easily distracted, and I was just showing you my drink bottle. And there is a story about a new water bottle that could put, quote, the squeeze on the $8 billion reusable water bottle industry. Now, this one here, this is a Zojirushi water bottle. It's made by the same people that make the very, very good, the high-end rice cookers. But I had a clean canteen, and then I left it on a boat, and I'm waiting for the guy that owns the boat to come back to make sure he doesn't throw it overboard or anything like that. And then what's the other one? The big fat one, the flask. The big flask that everybody's... and the only reason why I don't like that one is because it doesn't fit in any cup holder in any vehicle I own. And that's the only reason I don't like it. But otherwise, I think those hydro flasks are a pretty cool deal. But anyway, so they're coming out with a new one, and I think you'd enjoy the concept. The bottle is squeezable and reusable, and it is made of... And this is how you can tell that we're living in an advanced age of science and technology. The bottle is squeezable, reusable, and made of elastic metal. What?
That's like transparent aluminum.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Scotty. That's a great reference. Doug Moylan is smiling at that, right? So an elastic metal. The elastic core is fused to a 99.8% pure titanium exterior. The tip of the bottle is made of medical-grade silicone, a compromise that Kigo claims is made for the well-being of your teeth. According to a recent Nielsen report, among the 66% of global respondents they surveyed who took to buy reusable bottles, more than 50% are influenced by the key sustainability factors, a product being made from fresh, natural, and/or organic ingredients, and a company being environmentally friendly, and company being known for its commitment to social values. So the idea is that instead of buying bottled water, instead of going to the store, $6 for 24 of these, 12-ounce things that come in plastic, and it's a one-time use of the plastic, right? So it goes into landfills and it makes turtles cry or something like that. So the idea is instead of doing that, you would go and get yourself a reusable bottle and put your water in that.
So let me get this right.
Right.
My chief concern when buying an object that will retain liquids is no longer whether it will leak or anything, but just the stuff it's made out of.
Yeah.
I'm making sure. Yep.
So
I'm behind the times. I guess
I'm sure it's got a thing in there that will prevent whatever, your bourbon or your vodka from slipping out.
Rum. I like rum.
Rum. Okay, so I'm sure it's got something like that. So the company is Kigo, Keego. If you think this is going to be the next big deal and you'd like to get in on the ground floor of it, Keego, elastic titanium.
Wow.
That's something else.
That's great.
Asian stocks did edge higher. The Trump-Kim summit in the spotlight, and you got everything with a grain of salt here. When they start talking about the meeting, the high-profile Trump-Kim summit, the first meeting between sitting leaders of both countries, took center stage during the day, although analysts have said they expected little direct impact from the event on the markets. There are no major breakthroughs had been expected from the meeting, which culminated in both leaders signing a statement that pledged a lasting peace regime on the Korean Peninsula, and I believe they exchanged each other's WhatsApp numbers so they can communicate on a regular basis. Today's the summit comes as an about-face on relations between the U.S. after an elevation in geopolitical tensions last year following multiple missile launches by the North Koreans. Quote, aside from the photo opportunities that today brings from a financial markets perspective, today ranks as a meh. According to Robert Carnell, noted Trump hater at Asia Pacific head of research at ING, he added that developments in the trade arena is a far, far bigger existential global threat. And so that's what they're saying, at least on CNBC. Your mileage is going to vary based on who it is that you're talking to. 7:25 in the morning, so that's what happened in the market. That's a little bit of the post-analysis of the summit, and maybe there's a little bit more to come, but we got to do Jerry Roberts and his extra point.
Every manager is different in his or her own way. Each approaches the job with a unique combination of beliefs, ideas, strategies, behaviors, as well as personality-based advantages and disadvantages. If you like buffets and mixed bags, then management styles are for you. I'm Jerry Roberts, and that's today on The Extra Point. Maybe you played along last week as we look back on the people who have managed us through our career. All fell into one of 6 key management categories, according to consultant firm Hay McBeer. They are directive, authoritative, affiliative, participative, pace-setting, and coaching. We'll look at the first 3 today. Let's see if you recognize any of your managers in these descriptions. Number 1, directive. Some people call this the my way or the highway method. This level of control over workers can vary, but micromanagement is usually a big part of it. Highly skilled workers resent that. The manager may use coercion, threats, and discipline to keep people in line. Team members don't grow much in this system, and frustration can be high, leading to trouble retaining talent. When fear is the primary byproduct of a manager's style, workers are often reluctant to make any substantial decisions. In addition, the fact that only one person is doing any thinking is usually detrimental to the organization. 2, authoritative. On the surface, this one looks pretty good, and can be. Most workers like to be led by someone who seems to have all the bases covered. It gives us confidence, and in a world where a lot of shaky stuff is going on, feeling that your boss company job is on solid footing is a nice bonus. This manager is a visionary, providing long-term direction and a glimpse into the future. Direction is clear and tied to the vision, and management is firm but fair. Feedback on performance is consistent. This style can work when talent is fairly well developed, when everyone adheres to the standards set forth, and when the manager is viewed as credible and worth following. When that's not the case, you've got a problem. Number 3, affiliative. This manager's main focus is to create harmony and keep everybody happy. Conflict is generally avoided, and actual performance may be emphasized less than team members getting along with each other. The affiliative approach can be useful in low-stress workplaces without exact deadlines to meet and high production required. It would certainly be less effective in a crisis. See anyone there you recognize? Tomorrow, the other 3 styles, and a twist at the end. That's the extra point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3 and The Ray Gibson Show, I'm Jerry Roberts.
That's Jerry Roberts, and if that wasn't enough Jerry for you, like I said, he is on page 19 of this morning's Guam Daily Post, so get a copy of that. And if that's still not enough for you, archives of everything that we have done on from GuamTraining.com, everything that we have done since the beginning of the program, all of the scripts are right there waiting for you at GuamTraining.com on the World Wide Web. And that should be enough, Jerry, for anybody.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Yeah, the plaque is the one I'm looking for here. Let me see if I can scare up some traffic here on the traffic gizmo, because the right now traffic music is playing behind me and I haven't started yet. So if you are heading towards Big Navy, you might see a little bit of a slowdown just before you get to the gate. No big surprise there. I wonder if the guys at Navy are upset because Anderson Air Force Base got the presidential visit and not them, right? It's like the guys in the flight line up there got to put the gas in the plane, not their guys. Anyway, headed up to Anderson Air Force Base. A few more cars than normal around this time of day. See anything happening southbound Marine Corps Drive? Actually, no, don't see anything happening major southbound Marine Corps Drive coming out of Dededo and into the upper Tumon area. Looks like fairly smooth sailing. About the only place that you might, you might see just a little bit of a slowdown is that weird little forgettable spot coming out of Tiedzin and then on to Route 10A. It's the traffic that is bleeding off Tiedzin right now. I think everybody was looking at that as a shortcut, and most of the time it is, but there must be a long light or something like that, because I'm seeing traffic slow down there. Otherwise, everything looks good. At 7:30, that, my friends, is the incredible right now traffic on the point.
So you want to buy a house, but you don't know how much you could borrow. So what do? Well, you come to Bank Pacific and get pre-qualified. Sit down with one of our home loan specialists and let us see how much we can lend you so you know how much you can spend on your new home. Bank Pacific, where we're open to closing your loan in a hurry.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender, conditions apply. Come pre-qualified today.
I was going to do roll call on the Facebook Live here, but just not enough time. There's too much going on, as usual, in the studios of the Point, so we got to jump into headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Daily Post this morning, this week's presidential search forums for the 4 finalists to lead UOG in the future are continuing. Yesterday, the only local candidate in the running, Anita Borja Enriquez, answered questions and shared her views and plans for the university's future. Enriquez emphasized her plan to reposition UOG as the university of first choice for Guam students. She's currently the Senior Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs at UOG. Enriquez spoke about diversifying the university's revenue stream to support initiatives and strengthening local, regional, and global partnerships. She also talked about her plans to build a full college affordability program. Documents recently unsealed in district court show that 2 separate priority mail packages shipped to Guam in early May held more than 6 pounds of crystal methamphetamine when intercepted by federal law enforcement authorities. Search warrants for the 2 packages were unsealed in Guam's district court recently. One parcel came from Hawaii, the other from California. The package from Hawaii held more than 5 pounds of meth. It was addressed to a post office box in Agate. A tracking device was placed inside it. It was delivered on May 2nd. The court documents, however, don't say who received it or whether any arrest was made. The other package, also opened on May 2nd, contained 459 grams of meth. It had been mailed from Los Angeles to a residence in Chalanpago. Tracking device also placed in that parcel, but here, too, the court documents don't reveal whether it was delivered or whether anyone was arrested in connection with the meth found inside it. The lone Republican gubernatorial team for this year's election for governor made it official yesterday. Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio and his running mate, former Senator Tony Atta, formally filing their candidacy papers with the Guam Election Commission. Supporters, family, and friends crowded the GEC office yesterday afternoon as the candidates signed the election documents, and afterwards, they stepped outside for a rally. Tenorio recalled standing there in front of the GCIC building for the first time 8 years ago with his partner, outgoing Governor Eddie Calvo, when they launched their campaign for Adelup. Tenorio reviewed the accomplishments of their 2 terms in office, citing record tourism numbers and the reduced unemployment rate. Tenorio then spoke about some of his plans to provide free college tuition and low-income housing if he is elected governor. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
It's 7:34, and that's iConnect time. Connect longer for less with Push to Talk. You know, people say, Push to Talk, man, it feels like 1998, doesn't it? But the technology is still out there, and it is still incredible, and it has improved so much over the years. If you need instantaneous, right-now communications with your people out in the field, and with today's technology, smartphone technology built in rugged phones, call the guys at iConnect.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Portions of the program brought to you by my friends over at American President Lines, APL, shipping the future.
The island's fastest growing newspaper is giving you more.
More local news.
More local sports.
More local features.
And more ways to access the news you want to read.
Home delivery.
Digital subscriptions online on postguam.com.
On social media and now on a mobile app. It's your news, your way.
Download the Guam Daily Post app for Android and iOS today.
You're such a good producer. You are an awesome producer. All right, another look at traffic early, and let's see if there's anything that is worth talking about out there. Traffic building up in some of the usual places, but still don't see any signs of slowing down anywhere. Like I said, except just trying to get into Big Navy down in Sumai. It must be one of those things. Everybody wants to get in before they start doing the 7:35. And I saw the guy outside, and I said, I got to have him in the studio. It's the amazing Mo Cotton. Good morning, Mo. I'll be okay as soon as I get on his microphone, if you don't mind. Appreciate that. How you doing, Mo?
I'm doing okay.
I'm glad to hear that. You come in to renew the contract for the real estate?
Probably will do that while I'm here, too.
Well, all right, Mike said it.
Get the man in here.
Yeah, need to get the
money.
contract. So normally you're lurking on the Facebook Live. That's right, ka-ching. Right. So normally you're lurking on the Facebook Live. Right. What are you coming in here to do today?
Can you see me when I turn it on?
Yes.
How do you do that? What if I'm sitting there on the toilet or something?
No.
It's a little embarrassing.
There's little filters built in. Yeah, this is 2018. The technology is crazy.
Okay,
but I can see. I cannot see you, but I can see that you are there. I can see that you've logged on to the Facebook Live thing. So there's Auntie Loli Kamet, Bernadette Meno, Rose Ogo is there, Ruben Mortera from Haagen-Dazs is I see Benny Pinaula, Ray Souza people are off island and listening. I got Jan Mabini, Clint James, Paris Mendiola. Say it with me.
Okay.
We'll always have Paris.
We'll always have Paris.
And Mark Colby, the voice of the Guam Major League, Charlene Marchessault, who you know, and there's Joe Cruz, not that one, the real Joe Cruz, and a whole bunch of others. I'll do the rest of the roll call. Yesterday, was it yesterday, day before, you hit me with a PSA for your 5K.
Yes.
Is that one of the reasons why you're here today?
That's one of the reasons I'm here.
Well, let's do that.
Okay. You want me to talk about it?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay, well, this Saturday...
It's more important than the summit. This is bigger than the summit. This is bigger than Eddie Calvo and Air Force One.
The hell with Trump. I mean, who needs him when you've got a 5K coming up?
That's right.
Okay, this is my Rotary Sunrise, as you may have heard of it. We're doing our third year race with pets.
Right.
It's only 5K out there that does that. In other words, you can bring your pet and run with them 2.5K, or just do a normal 5K.
Sure.
So either one.
Okay.
And you can sign up at the Hornet. It's on this Saturday on the 16th. Showtime is actually 5 o'clock. We'll be doing Zumba
in the morning.
warm-up.
Yes.
In the morning, yeah. And hopefully you'll be there to be our MC later on after you run.
What day is this?
This is this Saturday.
This Saturday.
The 16th of June. And
depends what I do Friday night. You know,
I know.
Got a fundraiser. There's a fundraiser
if you can
in
make it,
lots of places.
We just cheer and cheer and cheer. If you can't make it, we'll cheer anyway.
All right, good man.
And so one of the reasons we raise money is for the Sea Haven. This is the boat that goes out of Pohnpei to the islands when even sometimes airplanes can't get to them. They do surgery, and so we raise money for them.
Oh, nice.
So one of our signature projects, and I promised them if we didn't raise at least $20,000 this year, I would jump off Two Lovers Leap.
Oh,
so
no,
that's part of it.
yeah. So folks, sign up. As the man says, you can go and sign up at Hornet Sporting Goods, or just
Hornet
that morning.
Sporting, yeah, or that morning.
Yeah.
It's $15 if you sign up that morning. It's $10 if you sign up before that.
Well, to make it, just sign up that morning and then throw a little bit more money in the kitty.
That's right.
You're gonna have the shirts and everything. You got shirts and refreshments when we're done.
TVs, and T-shirts, rather TVs, T-shirts. TVs next year.
Yeah.
T-shirts this year, and let me see what else. And also the first a raffle with China Airlines will be providing 2 seats to Taipei as a first prize. A painting by Mo Cotton, second prize.
To die for.
To die for, and $3,000 at least for that.
You know what? I haven't had a chance, believe it or not, in the couple of years that I've had an office in this building, I have not had a chance. You gave me a painting a few years ago of Rand Kaufman's wife, and the painting is held up, and so is she. It's a lovely painting, and so it's one of my pride and joys. I'll have that in the office before too much longer. Okay, so I saw you. I want to make sure that you had an opportunity to come in and make a plug for the deal. And while I've got you, the real estate expert Mo Cotton. So while I have him on the line, just real quick, I just thought I'd get some of your thoughts here. I was talking to somebody, another real estate professional, lives in the States, and she was talking about maybe coming back to Guam one of these days. And I said, yeah, no more competition.
We don't want that.
If I could get her to work for you, it'd be all right.
That's okay.
You're right.
Okay.
But I said, you better hurry, because it seems to me that the prices on private residential seems to be going up.
It's going up.
Yeah.
And
when did that unsoften? Because
I'd say
my
about
recollection
6 months ago.
Okay.
All at once, we started getting, as a group, I've got about 50 agents, and as a group, we were doubling our business almost overnight. And then it's still not like back in the 80s or the good old days.
Yeah. Go rock and roll days.
And steadily it's been going up every month. So I got my fingers crossed that this isn't just a blip. But I think what we're seeing is the beginning of the strong market.
A little bit of a surge. Now, to what do you attribute that?
Supply and demand. We've got more and more supply. Slowly but surely, the military is coming.
Yeah.
It's not the big 5,000 Marines yet, but it's a bomber group here, a Navy group here. And when they come in, they do it quietly. But the next thing you know, there's more money being spent, more people being renting homes.
Yeah.
And so that's what's pushing the market. And our problem as agents is inventory. We're running out of it. So as a result of running out of it, prices continue to go up.
And that's in all sectors. That'd be in single-family dwellings, be in townhomes, apartments, certainly.
Pretty much all over, yeah. Spread.
How is that impacting? I want to compare and contrast, right? You get Hawaii, right, and Hawaii has some interest. It's got the very high real estate values to begin with, and then when you've got the significant amount of military there that have off-base allowances for housing, that puts the squeeze on inventory and brings up the prices that locals are going to have to pay. So, are we beginning to experience that problem? Have we been experiencing? And what do we do about it? What is your thinking?
I've been telling people for years that pretty soon Guam will start reaching Hawaii prices because we've got less inventory than they have. We're going to get more military coming in. Now, granted, most of those people are going to be living on base, but there's always that certain percentage that will want to live off base, and they want to live well. They've got, especially if two military people get together,
it's $5,000 worth of rent.
That's right there. So I'm happy to take it.
Well, of course. I worry about the local kids that just starting out in their lives and don't want to live at mom and dad's place, but your choices are $600, $750 for an apartment somewhere, and it might not be I don't want to say the Himlani apartments, but that's what you're going to get for that kind of money. And the next step up is around $1,200-$1,300, and for some small local families, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
That's a big jump.
I don't really have an answer for that other than more employment, and more employment will happen with more and more military. So the military coming is not all bad. A lot of it's good. There'll be more money floating around here. There will be more jobs, and if there's more jobs, then they can afford better places.
Yeah.
So that's the
and
only answer I got.
If you're going to build, you're not going to build for the low income guys. You're not going to build for the middle income guys. You're going to be going for the sweet $2,400 a month from the military guys or the well-to-do that might be able to afford it without blinking around too much.
I'll tell you another problem we're running into is seniors. Where do seniors go? Trinidad is full. St. Dominic's is full. There is nothing. There is nothing for people like me. I'm 82 years old. I'm starting to look for places.
You better make sure your wife still likes you.
I know. And where do we go? Where do seniors go? I think I just read 60% of the population is over 55. So more and more, we don't have senior living like they have in the States. They just don't have it. So I was starting to concentrate on that myself. I wanted to build.
Well, we got a couple of places that the government put together, 55 and over. I'm trying to remember.
Those are houses. Yeah, there's low-cost house. I mean, a better-priced house. But,
right.
Still, that's people of my age do not want a big house. They want a small place where they
easy to keep clean. Just a shower over there and a kitchen over there and someplace to sleep at night and put my clothes.
Someone to come in and take care of them when they're starving to death.
Well, it sounds like a great business opportunity.
Yeah.
Is there federal money behind that? Do you suppose?
I don't really know.
Find Carlos Camacho. Carlos would know.
I've been trying to get some other people who concentrate on that. But that's one of my plans for the future is to start looking into that and building places for seniors.
How's the commercial sector?
It's
not as bullish on the commercial sector, huh?
Not too bullish on that.
Yeah. What's sexy these days? You know what? I had a chance.
Sexy?
Yeah. Well, I got to say, I had a chance to have dinner last night at the summer. It was building number 1 of the towers over behind Jonestown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I was pleased. Yes. Yeah. I was pleased with the accommodations. They turned out to be a lot nicer, a bit bigger, certainly bigger than I thought they were going to end up being because it kind of looked small on the outside. And I had heard from people that had gone to the models that it looked a little bit cramped. But I liked the space. I liked the accommodations. The appointments in that building were gorgeous.
And the view.
Oh, to die for.
Awesome.
To die for. On the 10th floor of this building, until you got within, say, 4 feet of the door, it looked as though you were on a ship. Because the ocean is right there. You're 10 stories up from and above the cliff, and then you've got this great ocean shot. Just absolutely gorgeous, that place. And I was wondering, you know, do the prospects look good for sales and rental in the other properties?
Well, I would like to take maybe one or two of those buildings and turn it into senior living.
Who do we talk to?
Cortec.
I got a guy right over there. Anyway.
Yeah, you're in the same building.
Yeah, 7:47 in the morning. Owned by the same people, as a matter of fact. Well, there might be a follow-up opportunity for a discussion.
I've already been in talking to them, and they like me because I've got a nice big company that can market. And but they've been talking to lots of people about those buildings, and frankly, with that need and perhaps federal money behind it, we can accommodate 200 or 300 people.
Yep. Because otherwise they'll go to the Philippines, where I'm told that the senior housing and senior assisted living business is supposed to be blossoming. 7:47. Mo, I can't tell you what a great time it is. Leave that with me, and I'll make sure that I've got it so I can read it a couple more times. I appreciate you coming by. It's 7:48, and an accidental conversation with the amazing and expert Mo Cotton. Great to have you in the studio. We'll see you on Saturday.
My pleasure, and we'll see you Saturday. Hopefully, you can be our.
Like it all depends if I can make a 5 o'clock reveille, that'd be all right. You're listening to The Point. Real quick break. Be right back.
Connect to more this summer. With fiber internet from GTA, you get up to 50 megabits of data per second for only $50 per month. And if that's not enough, Fiber Internet 50 plan includes free Wi-Fi. But this offer ends June 30, so sign up today and get ready for faster downloads, more streaming, a better gaming experience, and a stable connection across multiple devices. Conditions may apply. Visit GTA.net for more details. GTA, your island, your network.
To dads who cook, to dads who fish, to all dads who taught us how to count, to catch a ball, here's to you. For your dad jokes, for lifting us up, for your big heart. In honor of all dads, for the entire month of June, stop by FHP Vision Center for 30% off sunglasses and 25% off lenses with ophthalmic frames. Buy any Dragon frames for a chance to win Dragon sunglasses. Some conditions may apply. Happy Father's Day from your friends at FHP.
So I don't know where it's going to go or what time it's going to happen, but you hear the ad that the lady just did a second ago for FHP and Father's Day. I saw an ad this morning for drones, pilotless drones, and I got to say I need one of those. I have no idea what I need it for, but I need one. Docomo has got these things, and if I can, I'll see if I can show you some video of that here in just a second. On the screen, if you're watching on Facebook Live, and I've made a big deal about, because it is a big deal, right? We just had this summit here between Kim Jong-un and President Donald J. Trump in Singapore. Well attended, well covered, and if you love it, you love it. If you hate it, you hate it. There's a lot of people that, it doesn't matter what Trump does, they're going to absolutely hate it. You'd be able to put these guys together, something Hillary Clinton and Kerry were never able to do, but him and Dennis Rodman were able to get everything together, and people are going to say what they're going to say. Yeah, so Donald Trump, what's the old joke? If Donald Trump could walk on water, his detractors would say, see, told you, Donald Trump can't swim. That's the way that works. But he was on the plane on Air Force One, and it touched down, and they were able to get the governor on board the airplane. And I don't know what the nature of the conversation is. I have asked and have not yet gotten anything from Oya and the folks over at the governor's press office to find out whether or not he was able to get the vomit bag or coasters or the pen or anything from out of Air Force One, because I would have been on the scavenger hunt. I'm just saying. We do, however, know that he left something behind, and Kevin Kerrigan was able to find a plaque that what is this? It's presented to. Wonder where he got this done, because this is nice. Presented to President Donald J. Trump to commemorate the U.S. North Korea Summit, Singapore, June 12, 2018, and his efforts to ensure peace in the region. Signed Governor Eddie Baza Calvo.
Apparently that hasn't actually been delivered. That's what was produced.
Oh, he didn't leave it?
No, KUAM's got a story, and apparently that it hasn't been left with the it wasn't left with the president this morning, but it'll be sent to him later.
Pudding's got to pick it up. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. For those of you that know your quotes, Matthew 5:9 is at the bottom underneath the Great Guam Seal. So it looks like there was an attempt then to leave a gift behind for the president. See, if he'd have left a drone, I think it would have been a completely different story. And one of those little UAVs.
But a scapular was given to the president for his wife, Melania, according to the governor's office.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get around to learning a little bit more about what was and what wasn't, and the nature of the visit, the nature of the conversation. As I said, it would have been nice, depending on how long the governor had with the president, to bring up a few of the issues, the H-2B issues. And one of the other pictures that I'll show you on Facebook in a second is a bunch of H-2 employees. The first batch, and as Kevin said earlier, we have gone from having 0 to about 30 guys that got on the airplane. Actually came in with President Trump. They were flown in the belly of Air Force One, and as they all got into Eddie's car and drove.
Not quite.
No?
No, they came in a little later.
So I've got this imagination. Every once in a while, it goes wild. They're just trying to put together the two stories in there. So we're trying to, the 30 or so H-2B employees, these are the ones that were able to come in under the NDAA's cap, which doesn't exist for Guam anymore. But these guys are all going to be working on some projects on the base, as it were, and not necessarily projects all over Guam. And talk to anybody. That's a big problem. Is there's all of these contracts that are out there. There's all this work that needs to get done, and there's all this money that needs to get spent on construction and contractors, and a lot of guys can't do it. A lot of guys can't do it. As I said, down and again, you're driving around and running around, and there's some nice new construction. I forget what it's going to be over in front of David John's place, over by Madeline Berdalio's place. And so I'm watching these guys get out of work and putting their tools in nicer cars than the ones that I own. I'm going, hey, that's nice. This construction gig seems to be working out for you. So the rates are going up. And the rates are going up. I mean, if you're looking for a job these days, let me just say, there's a couple of things. One of them might be fairly easy to get depending on how popular you are, what kind of name that you've got. There's over 100 people now have picked up packets for a variety of positions, elected officials, elected positions in the government of Guam, from senator. Now we can pick up packets for public auditor. You can pick up packets for attorney general, Consolidated Commission on Utilities. I think we've got a couple openings on the Ed Board, and, oh yeah, governor, lieutenant governor as well. So you might want to try to go for one of those jobs. A lot of fanfare in the news yesterday about Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio and Tony Adam making their way to see Maria Pangilinan at the Guam Election Commission so that they could drop off their paperwork and officially sign on as the Republican nominees, I suppose, as it were, for governor, lieutenant governor in this upcoming race.
The only Republicans.
The only ones. Well, I keep saying the only ones so far.
Yeah, well, we're getting close to the deadline to file. I don't think there's anybody on the horizon. Do you? I haven't heard any rumors.
25th and 26th.
That's when 26, isn't it? That's when you.
I think that's the absolute.
Yeah.
I think there's one date for one, and the 26th is like the drop dead for another. I forget what it is. Maria mentioned it, and I don't know. I was paying attention, but getting ready to ask another question. And sometimes that's a little bit tricky.
I have the dates right here.
You the man?
And June 26th, deadline to submit nominating petitions, 5 p.m., June 26th, for governor, lieutenant governor, senator, delegate, and attorney general.
Okay, so keep that in mind if those are the jobs that you want. Now, I always look around to see if there are other opportunities, and this one here, this is not a rerun. I don't know if you've noticed, but the Cloverdale people are back.
So what happened to the recruits?
I don't know.
Too cold in North Dakota.
Yeah, it's okay. Good, you're hired. Here's a map of where you're going to live, and what's the average temperature? About 65 all year. What? They're having another job fair, the Cloverdale guys, and if you don't remember the conversation, because we went over this because it was entertaining as hell. Cloverdale is an outfit that makes meat. Well, I don't make meat. The cow makes meat, and the pigs make meat, and the chickens make meat. But what these guys do is they take it and they turn it into sausages. and ham steaks. Yeah, I think that's good. I think they do bacon in there as well. I think they, yeah.
And you don't want to know how it's done.
No, absolutely not. But if you got any skills, it might be an opportunity for you. So they've got relocation expenses, competitive wages, health, dental, and vision, wellness incentives, on-the-job training, paid time off, day-night shifts, and you can line up for a 401k. They're looking for quality assurance guys, sanitation guys, basically janitor, production, maintenance, and warehouse guys. There's going to be a job fair that is going to be taking place on the 15th and the 26th, 9:30 until 3 at the Bell Tower Plaza in Antigua. And then they're going to do one at the Westin Resort on the 18th from 10 until 3. The university, you might want to have your account executives, Kevin, get with them. They've misspelled Guam. University of GAUM on the 25th from 10 until 3, and at GCC from 9:30 until 3 on the 27th. So there's going to be a flurry of activities with this group. But it's interesting to me, primarily because, hey, these people realize that there's labor here. There's guys that are fully capable of grabbing a job and taking advantage of the opportunities that are presented if, of course, you don't have a problem going off island to wherever it is, because you can't make Cloverdale sausages from Guam, but you can be from Guam and do it. And naturally, to take a look around at all of the help wanted sites, because we can only at this point import H-2B guys to work on federal projects. There's a whole lot of people in the construction game. They're looking for people from Guam that might have the skills to be able to get that done. 7:58 and change. This is the Ray Gibson Show on The Point. KUSG Hagåtña, as a matter of fact. That's what I was trying to say. I want to do a little bit of a roll call and say thanks very much to a bunch of folks that have chimed in. I got, hey, it's my buddy Gino. Hey, dude. Melissa Perlowski and John Wigston are online. Brenda St. Nicholas, Gallo Perez. I call up his office every once in a while, and I say, yes, I'd like to speak to Gallo. And they say, Kumusta ka? Mabuti naman. Brenda St. Nicholas, Ursel Darius Cruz, Annie St. Nicholas. I see Jeff Evans has chimed in again. Joey St. Nicholas, Lynn Perez, good morning to you. Emmett Conception, and Mike Williams Sr., who we'll hear from on weather in just a little bit. Auntie Loli is on. Bernadette Meno, Rose Ogo, Hafa Rubin, and Benny Pinella, and Jan Mabini, and Clint James. Who did I leave off last time? Beck Salazar, Frank Gutierrez, Bruce Dinsman, Jimmy Moylan, who has signed up to become a senator, Mark Mendiola, and Gino Perez. I kind of want to bother Mark Mendiola a little bit later on, because he needs to get bothered over at the legislature. He's got some work to do at the legislature. Him and John Fernandez need to be talking with them about their budget. I think today is their budget hearing, so could be some fireworks there. We'll see what happens. We'll see how that plays out. 8 o'clock in the morning, and the radio station again is KUSG Hagåtña. This is 93.3 The Point. News from Fox News is coming up in a second. On the other side of that, Kevin Kerrigan with news from the Guam Daily Post. And will we be pretending to talk about sports today with Blake? Yep. Stick around.
A green light for a mega merger. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. A federal judge clears the way for the AT&T to buy Time Warner. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has more live.
Lisa, not only did the judge rule in favor of AT&T taking over Time Warner, but he also said the government should not appeal his decision. He said the government failed to meet its burden of proof. Attorneys for the Justice Department said the merger could lessen competition, that the companies could increase prices on Time Warner content like HBO, or limit rivals' ability to use HBO as a promotional tool. AT&T and Time Warner had argued that in this era of Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon, as more people cut the cord, so to speak, it is they who need help competing. It's expected to open the door to more deals. Comcast said if this deal did go through, they'd compete with Disney and make an all-cash bid for 21st Century Fox assets, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. In Seattle,
the bill passes and the chair will sign it.
The city council votes to repeal a tax on large companies like Amazon and Starbucks that would have helped raise money for the city's homeless crisis. The companies had criticized the tax as misguided. Reaction continues to come in to President Trump's meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. House Majority Whip Steve Scalise.
To have Kim Jong-un agree to denuclearize is a major accomplishment. There's a lot of work to go to actually see it through, but the fact that the two of them sat together and came to that kind of an agreement, I think is historic, and I commend President Trump for his leadership.
Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer.
By granting a meeting with Chairman Kim,
President Trump has granted a brutal and repressive dictatorship the international legitimacy it has long craved.
Former Vice President Joe Biden says he's troubled by the outcome, saying President Trump has given North Korea multiple wins up front without getting anything in return. Fox News, fair and balanced.
The employees of Morrico Equipment on Guam have something very special all to themselves every morning they go to work, and that is pride. They have pride in the Morrico Equipment logo, and they have pride in wearing the Morrico Equipment uniform. They have pride in driving each Morrico Equipment service truck and in operating the Morrico Equipment lowboy heavy haul tractor. Morrico Equipment employees have pride in their company because they own the company. Morrico Equipment is now an employee-owned company. If you would like to join the Morrico Equipment ESOP team, please apply via morricoequipment.com.
In this divided world, there are still a few things that unite us. The thrill of an exciting championship game.
Fire to the end zone. Touchdown!
The sound of great music.
The Grammy goes to...
And the love we have for that perfect burger. Ruby Tuesday Guam presents to you For the Love of Burgers menu. For a limited time, we want you to put down that fork, tuck that napkin in your collar, and go for broke with an amazing burger for just $11.99. 8 burgers to try, and time is a-wasting. Ruby Tuesday Guam lunchtime. See you soon.
In the Ad Council.
A Pennsylvania government worker gets her job back after sounding off on social media about local school bus drivers.
The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation fired Rachel Carr 2 years ago for her Facebook rant in which she said she will gladly smash into a school bus. A department supervisor saying the agency was concerned about being held liable if Carr acted on her threat. A Commonwealth court ordered Carr reinstated, even though judges called her comments reprehensible and abhorrent. The court finding Carr's remarks deserve special protection because they address a public safety concern. Carr also referred to school bus drivers in her post as horrible and scary. Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
Charitable giving in the U.S. last year topped $400 billion for the first time. The Giving USA reports as the biggest increase was in giving to foundations, up 15.5%. An electric car maker reorganizing as it looks to turn a profit.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk telling staffers in an email that the company is making a difficult but necessary move and is laying off about 9% of its workforce of over 40,000, with the current job cuts affecting only salaried employees, not factory workers. This as the company is focused on increasing production of its lower-priced Model 3 compact car. Tesla has struggled to meet production targets and achieve profitability and has been burning through billions of dollars in cash. Musk says Tesla is making the move now so it never has to do it again. And he says there's still a significant need for additional production workers. Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
A grand jury in Virginia has indicted actress Rose McGowan on one felony count of cocaine possession. Charging documents say the drugs were found in a wallet McGowan left behind on a plane last year. She says the drugs weren't hers and were planted on behalf of Harvey Weinstein. She was one of the first to accuse Weinstein of sexual misconduct. Weinstein's attorney denies the allegations, calling them a ludicrous claim. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
With the largest inventory of rental equipment on Guam, East West Rental Center is sure to have the tool you need to get your job finished quickly. From equipment rental, party rental, parts and service to used equipment, East West Rental Center has what you need. Call East West Rental Center at 646-1463 or visit them online and browse through their online rental catalog at eastwestrental.com. They're located in Upper Tumon, right across St. John's School. East West Rental Center, providing the island of Guam with quality equipment rentals since 1972.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Mark Benventi of Santa Rita, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumamo. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Stop by any Circle K today and overload your For Real. It's simple. Pick out your favorite For Real shake, blend it, and then mix and match any 2 toppings for only $1. Overload your For Real with a variety of sweet treats like Oreo cookies, gummy bears, classic M&Ms or peanut M&Ms, and Reese's peanut butter cups. Simply add them to your For Real shake for an overload experience and enjoy. For Real Overload, only available at participating Circle Ks. Circle K, take it easy.
Rain. It's nature's way of cleansing the earth. Yet by the time that rainwater makes its way to your home, it may not be exactly the same as nature created it. A Connecticut water treatment system can improve the quality of the water you and your family drink and use throughout your home, so you can be sure your water is clear, clean, and fresh, just as nature intended it to be. Connecticut, for refreshing ideas on water.
American Water Tech. Smarter water, better water. Call American Water Tech, 649-2301, or email info@americanwatertech.com.
Did you hear that Morrico Equipment on Epow Road in Tuning is now an employee-owned company? It's called an ESOP, or ESOP, which stands for Employee Stock Ownership Plan. Collectively, the employees now own Morrico Equipment. Morrico made this change in response to the U.S. military buildup on Guam to retain key employees and to recruit new ones. There's now strong motivation for employees as owners to take responsibility for their role in the company. If you're interested in talking to Morrico about future employment prospects, please apply through their webpage, morricoequipment.com.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. this Wednesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Air Force One touching down at Andersen Air Force Base at 2 a.m. this morning, and Governor Eddie Calvo went aboard to greet President Donald Trump, who was making a brief pit stop here on island on his way back from the Singapore summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. President's plane was on the ground for about an hour and a half for a refueling stop. Trump then headed on to Hawaii about 3:30 a.m. Adelup says the governor gave President Trump a religious scapular for his wife Melania. The governor thanked the president on behalf of the people of Guam for the president's efforts to bring peace to the Asia-Pacific region. Earlier, Governor Calvo released a statement lauding Trump's efforts to pursue peace with North Korea, especially in light of North Korea's threats last year to launch missiles towards Guam. Delegate Madeline Bordallo, meanwhile, also releasing a statement about the Singapore summit, welcoming the talks with Kim, but she said she was disappointed that human rights violations were not extensively discussed during that summit. Guam Memorial Hospital Administrator Peter John Camacho gathering his management team and calling in the media yesterday to refute the allegations made by Dr. Kozui Shimabukuro during her testimony Monday before the legislature. Camacho said her allegations definitely hurt the hospital, and he accused Dr. Shimabukuro of making numerous misrepresentations and distorting facts. He said there's been no change in Dr. Shimabukuro's title or her compensation. She is still the Assistant Associate Administrator of Medical Services at GMH, said Camacho. Chief Financial Officer Benita Manglonia, meanwhile, took exception to a number of Dr. Shimabukuro's allegations on Monday. She called Shimabukuro's claim that the Payless payday threat in March was staged a fabrication. During her testimony, Dr. Shimabukuro also displayed a slide showing $22 million in unbilled medical records, but Manglonia said that's not accurate. She said the unbilled amount at GMH as of last week was just $2 million. And she also said that roughly $12 million is now owed to vendors, according to Manglonia. Medical Director Dr. Vince Duenas, meanwhile, said that Dr. Shimabukuro's testimony did much to tear down the hospital rather than build it up. However, he said no disciplinary action is being contemplated against Shimabukuro, although a personnel action may be recommended to change her title. We'll have more news after this.
As we journey through 2018, we here at APL continue to find ways to better deliver our island's resources with innovative and cost-effective solutions, lending our helping hands by carrying your freight safely from the U.S. mainland or anywhere in our global network. We humbly honor the opportunities to continue to work and connect with you and your business. We are APL, and we are here for you.
From September 17 to September 19, 2018, the Archdiocese of Agana will be conducting settlement conferences with victims of clergy abuse. If you have a claim and want to meaningfully participate in the September settlement conferences, call Hope and Healing Guam at 1-888-649-5288 before August 1st, 2018. All conversations with Hope and Healing Guam are confidential. If you have filed a lawsuit against the Archdiocese, you are already included in this settlement process.
11 minutes past 8 a.m. here at The Point. The former administrator of Guam Memorial Hospital now earns a living as an Uber driver outside of Portland, Maine. Ted Lewis telling the Guam Daily Post that he had an accomplished career in hospital management, and then he was kicked out at GMH and made to look like he'd done something terribly wrong, which he hadn't, he said. Lewis spoke to the Guam Daily Post by phone from Maine after learning that the governor's former communications director, Troy Torres, admitted that he had conducted a campaign to oust Lewis from his position as administrator at GMH back in 2015. Lewis said that he knew that people were trying to force him out, but he wasn't aware it was led by the governor's former communications director. Lewis said he is thankful now for this public vindication. This week's presidential search forum for the 4 finalists to lead UOG continue. Yesterday, the only candidate in the running locally, Anita Borja Enriquez, answered questions and shared her views and plans for the university's future. Enriquez emphasized her plan to reposition UOG as the university of first choice for Guam students. She is currently the Senior Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs at the University of Guam. Enriquez also spoke about diversifying the university's revenue stream to support initiatives and strengthen local, regional, and global partnerships. She also talked about her plans to build a full college affordability platform. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray is reaching for the weather.
Partly cloudy skies and isolated showers, becoming mostly cloudy tonight. Expect winds out of the east, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Expected daytime highs today, 89 degrees. But wait, there's more. Call before midnight tonight, and we'll throw in the maximum afternoon heat index of just 101 degrees.
A little warm out there today.
Gonna be toasty. Did we have a heat index yesterday?
No.
There was no heat index.
No, not officially, although it probably got close to that 99.
Okay, because I'm going for a hero thing today because I did my running yesterday. I went out and did my running. I had to meet up with some people, so I did the running earlier.
Oh, well, in that case, the heat index was like 135.
100. Okay, so I got my 4 miles in at 135 degrees.
Yeah. So you probably burned like 12,000 calories.
Exactly. Oh, Ruby Tuesday burgers today. Lows tonight around 78 degrees when it cools off after sunset, which will be about 6:48. We'll watch the sun come up together about 5:53 tomorrow morning. Well, I mean, not like us together. Just saying. You know what I mean. It's news and weather together. It's hot in here now on News and Weather Together here on The Point.
What would you do with unlimited internet? With Docomo Pacific, the possibilities are endless. Docomo Pacific is throwing off the data caps so you can enjoy more of the things you love. Watch, stream, download, and play with no end in sight. Stop by any of our stores or check out DocomoPacific.com to learn more. Life becomes limitless with Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Hold on a second. Just somebody did something on Facebook Live that I don't know how to do. How do you, Ray Laurenti, please describe how it is that you were able to reply directly to somebody on the Facebook page? Because he's replying to my Auntie Loli. He says, "What's up, Loli Kamet?" Replying to Loli. How did you do that? I don't. It's my page, and I don't even know how to do it. You know, a guy called. The guy was angry the other day. He says, "Are you censoring me? I posted like 3 messages, and you're censoring it because you don't like my version of the truth." And I said, dude, I don't know how to do that on the Facebook page. So it obviously isn't happening. And I don't know how to reply to individual deals. So do me a favor, hit me up and tell me in the Facebook Live how exactly that happens. 8:15 in the morning. While you're doing that, let me entice you with lunch today over at King's. You're going to love what they put together for you. A special local lunch every single day. Today, it's pork sinigang. Tomorrow, meatloaf. Day after is beef tinaktak. So if you can't make it today for the sinigang, keep that in mind for your lunch plans over the next couple of days.
How about when we lend you money for your home, we pay for your appraisal? That's right. When we make you a loan, we'll pay for the actual cost of your standard appraisal up to $1,500. Add that to our super low rates, and you'll see why so many people are coming to Bank Pacific for their home loan. So join them by joining us, Bank Pacific, where we're open to closing your loan in a hurry.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender, credit conditions apply.
Portions of the program brought to you by American President Lines. APL is shipping the future.
Howdy, folks. KFC's Colonel Sanders here. It's summer, and KFC has something extra special to spice it up with KFC's new Sriracha Extra Tasty Crispy Chicken. Yup, we kicked up our Pika chicken a notch with Sriracha. It's spicy, tangy, and sweet. You've never had Sriracha like this before, so spice up your summer with KFC's new Sriracha Crispy Chicken. KFC is finger-licking good.
The Coconut Wireless is back. Morning talk that matters. The Ray Gibson Show.
Yes, 8:16. My name is Ray, and this is one of my favorite portions of the program because it involves, you can get a lot of people yakking about a lot of stuff in the next segment of the program. We try to talk about sports. There's usually at least a nod in the direction of the sports god and some big sports stories. But the rest of the time is just goofing off and talking about our special observances of life and all that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Sports with Blake. So you know how we got the good music bed for Sports with Blake? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we played that yesterday when it was Sports with Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it all Astros and Rockets news?
No, it was actually all local.
Was it all local?
Yeah, I didn't even go there.
Well, that's even me today. That's what most of what's going on, because on the national level, you just got the dog days of baseball.
That's
you
right.
know, which I mean, regardless of what your team is, it's just June. You know.
Yeah, I mean the only thing you're really looking forward to in baseball is the trade deadline.
Trade deadline, All-Star break, which is like a month from now.
Yeah.
And so there's no basketball now.
Done.
Yeah.
Basketball's done. Now, and then hockey just ended as well. And I do have this schedule in front of me. Now, there is no U.S. of A. in it, but the World Cup will start here locally on Friday at 1 a.m. with Russia, the host country, taking on Saudi Arabia.
Here?
Well, I mean, will be on TV here.
Oh.
It's happening in Russia. The World Cup. I was like, that's a story. If we got,
I missed that.
Yeah.
They made a bigger deal about it last time we had FIFA games on Guam. You'd think I would have gotten a memo.
Right. Yeah. Especially those two, Russia and Saudi Arabia. But yeah, it looks like the World Cup game 1 of the entire World Cup will kick off Friday 1 a.m. here. That is the 15th. Yes. Okay. With Russia and Saudi Arabia, and then like 3, I don't know, later in the day, Egypt will take on Uruguay.
Yeah.
So
See that if we were going to be watching that, I wouldn't watch it. I'd find the website where Mason goes to, and he just watches the sports event with no commercials, no talk or anything. It's just the action.
You know, there was, maybe you remember this, Mike, but I remember that was it like the late or early 80s when the NFL tried to roll out a Monday Night Football game with no commentary?
Yeah, they actually did a game
right?
in the 70s, where they just showed the picture, and it actually worked out okay because most fans can figure out what they're looking at.
Yeah.
But it wasn't what people were used to, so it was very odd even watching it.
Not me. I'd need somebody to explain it. I need somebody to hold my hand and just say, okay, so the guy with the ball, and he needs the goals over there. So
he's got 3 downs to get 2
See, actually,
yards.
I'd like for Blake and I to get into that sort of thing, doing some play-by-play and stuff around the island.
Well, you can do some now.
Yeah, I've done it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. And it also helps with the it helps with just the everyday translation of doing this job anyway.
I did it back in the day. So
we did get some GML scores, right?
Yes, 5-4. The Rays win. Rays keep climbing. They are 5-0 now. They beat the Astros, who are now 2-2. Winning pitcher goes to TJ Sarmiento. I always get that wrong. With 2 strikeouts, and let's see here for the Astros, Mike Cahill 1 for 4 behind the plate. Next game is going to be tomorrow. Junior Nationals taking on the O's. O's are 3-1. Junior Nationals still looking for that elusive first win at 0-2 in the standings. So that was from last night. Elsewhere in other baseball diamond news, Guam Little League, Ray, they're all-stars getting ready because it's almost that time. Asia Pacific Regionals with the major divisions because they're going to Seoul, South Korea to try and qualify for the Little League World Series. They're going to play some games in Seoul for the tournament. It looks like they've got some friendlies in Philippines as well. They're going to depart June 29th, going to be gone through July 5th. They're going to see here. They got a tough field of competition as well. They're going to face off against China, the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, Indonesia, and defending champions South Korea. In Pool A, New Zealand, the Philippines, Hong Kong, and Chinese Taipei. So winner, like I said, goes to the advances directly to the Little League World Series in South Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Who are we
August 16th.
sending? Now, didn't we send Steve Mooney out to that to ref a couple of years to referee?
I think he was there when
umpire.
Yeah, umpire. I think he was there when Monet Davis was there. I think when the Phenom, if you remember Monet Davis, the female pitcher that was throwing lights out a couple years ago. I believe he was there because I think he sent some pictures back to you. Or something
Mark
like that.
Colby's he's on the Facebook Live now. He's giving you thumbs up for the GML plug, but I'm curious, Mark, would you have any idea of whether anybody from Guam is going to be going off to the Little League World Series stuff?
The umpires, no, I didn't know, but I do remember that story because I remember the.
No, it's a big deal.
Yeah, and like I said, I remember it also coinciding with the Monet Davis thing because that was the big story out of that whole Little League World Series that year. And I saw Mark Colby's father on Facebook singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." That
Nice.
was a really cool video. Thanks for sharing that, Mark. That was awesome.
You know what? It gets you in the mood for Father's Day, right?
Yeah.
So I'll talk about that in a second. Can you find Brewster? Can you see if you can get Brewster on the line? Well, I got a second here. It's the United Plane Pool, the hotties over at RIMS. Have sent out
some of them.
Press release yesterday and the flyer looking for people to sign up. The United Plane Pool is happening. The 13th annual is happening on the 15th of September at the hangar up in Tijan. And this is one of those kind of must attend. Everybody's going to be out there. And teams, you can start putting yourselves together. Registration opens on June the 15th. I'm looking to see if there's a website. It's a first place winner for each division. 2 United round trip tickets to the States via Honolulu. Team Spirit winners get 2 United round-trip tickets to Asia or Micronesia. You know, it's too bad they're not heading up to Rhoda anymore.
I know.
Darn. If you want details, call Reuter Integrated Marketing Strategies. I know Renee is off island or should be soon, but Diane might be there. So talk to Diane.
Diane's there. For sure.
635-1126. Or send an email to planepool@rimsguam.com.
No pun intended, because I think her last name is Sir, and it looks like it's spelled Sure. But yeah, so for sure, Diane is there.
Okay, so I got another thing. It's going to sound like a commercial, and I don't want it to. It'll sound like I'm sucking up to a client, and I do want it to sound like that. So I got Ron Brewster on the line from Docomo, who is the Chief Technology Officer. And whether he is or not, I don't care. I'm just going to call him that. He's the Chief Technology Officer for the guys over at Docomo. How you doing there, brother?
Good. That's a little strong, man. There's a dude here that's the Chief Technology Officer that may not appreciate that.
Can I, science guy? Can I just, what? You've got an actual title there, right?
Yeah, Director of Marketing. Yeah.
He's Docomo's top visionary.
Science. Yeah, no, I get it. The science officer. How's that?
He's the Docomo Wayfinder.
I like that too.
Right? Like Spock in Star Trek. You're the science officer.
Yeah.
I can hear the enthusiasm.
I know, right?
Yeah, this is great. You wake me up early for this?
I'm totally down with Spock.
All right. No.
When it comes to Star Wars and Star Trek, I'm more of a Trekkie guy.
All right. So there's I saw an ad, and if anybody wants to know what I want for Father's Day, page 7 PDN, the DJI products, the Mavic Pro, the Mavic Air, or the Spark. The Spark is the low end, so that's not the one I want.
But don't underestimate it, Ray. It's seriously bad, dude.
All right, so hey, do me a favor, get off the Bluetooth and pick up the handset. Because I'm getting too much house audio. So while you do that, I'm going to start playing. It is footage that your buddy Tom Valderrama shot, and I'm playing it right now on the Facebook Live. Is it better? Can you hear me, Ron?
Yeah, how's that?
Much better. So you've got these DJI products there, right?
Yeah. So we're an authorized DJI seller, and DJI is really like the premier drone brand. From a consumer standpoint, they really kicked it off, they were ahead of everybody, and then their innovation, the features, the product range, no one can touch them when it comes to that. And we're super proud and excited to have these products now.
Well, I'm looking at the video, and obviously this thing is not being shot from a platform, but the video is absolutely rock solid. They've got the things that are, and there's a breeze there, so they've got these things that are up in the air, up where the breeze is, but and stabilization, hardware and software. So just incredible the pictures that you're going to be able to take, and and it's a picture of somebody doing some 4-wheel drive work up in the hills, and I think that's a clever use of it. I was laying on the beach on Saturday, and there was somebody with one of these DJI drones that was I believe spying on me. Because I was wearing those split running shorts that I like to wear, where it looks like you can see my junk.
Mm-hmm. And some people were inquiring about
that's what
was
going
going
on.
on.
Yeah. So somebody had one of these like the Air. I think it was the Mavic Air up in the place, and they were, it's either that or they were spying on the Korean hotties that were down the beach a little bit more. I'm not entirely sure, but those are also adequate uses for these, right?
Yeah. So Ray, I cannot really tell you enough about these drones. I personally have been using the Pro for the last week, so over this weekend, and it's unbelievable. I mean, like, for someone who has no drone experience to be able to just take a drone like that. So yesterday at lunch, I went over there by where the Cove's at.
Yeah.
Parked in their parking lot. So I'm not even on the beach side. I'm just in their parking lot. And I took that thing up and flew it out over that island out there behind Sheraton, and then out over the ocean. And it was really windy, and it was even telling me, hey, it's a little windy out here. Just make sure you keep an eye on me. It's telling me that, right? So,
keep an eye on me.
Yeah, so I started getting a little nervous because, I mean, it's out there like a mile, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it has this home button. You press the home button, and then it just goes up as high as it can go, and then it hauls back to where you're at, and then lands in the spot that it took off of. It's super smart. It's super intuitive. It's it's rock solid. I mean, like, it feels wild to like send something that far away from you where you can't see it.
Yes.
So yesterday at my house, I flew it up to the top of Barragata Heights, like way up there on the top of the hill. You can't even see it. But it's, you can watch it through your phone is attached to a controller, and it's literally like a 747 cockpit. It's got all the information you need. You want to know how much range you have. You want to know how much video you have left, how many photos you have left, where you're at. It has GPS on a GPS map.
But now you said you flew this thing around Barragata Heights. You weren't grounded from the proximity to the airport?
No, so it actually has like an area. It shows you on the map, this is a restricted area, and it won't even fly in there. So you can even try to fly in there, and it won't go there.
So it's almost like internally it knows.
Yeah, well, it's got the GPS on it, and so everything is mapped out, so it knows where the boundaries are. So
cool.
It'll keep you safe from the FAA and sure. But people in business are going to use this, like
make it go there.
Like real estate guys can use this. They can fly over where the land is supposed to be, and see if there's the foundation. I know guys in the construction companies that use them to say this is what your view is going to look like from your hotel room or your apartment, because we know where the building edge is going to be, and we send it up 10 floors, and they say, okay, from floor 10, this is your view. Wouldn't something like that be cool? They fly. They automatically will hover in place, so it's not like you can send the thing up over there, and then it will want to hover in place and let you move the camera around and do whatever it is that you want to do without having to worry about flying the plane, right?
And it's rock solid. I mean, like when you watch the video back, I mean, it is like you cannot see it move. It's just so rock solid, stable, even in windy conditions. We were just sitting on my computer last night just watching this and just going, oh my gosh, it looks like a commercial.
Okay, so yeah, the commercials are political ads because everybody's using drones and slow-mo these days. It's going to make me crazy. So let me just say we've seen it all. Find another way to use the drones in your political stuff, all right? Because otherwise it's making me nuts.
Let me give you the breakdown of the models real quick so you can decide which one you want for Father's Day.
I want the expensive one. But that's like $9.99, right?
Yeah, it's $9.99. That's the Pro. It's about the size, a little bit bigger than an iPhone 8 Plus,
which they also sell.
Yeah, it's like that size, and then the wings fold out, and it shoots 4K video. So that's kind of the differentiator between that and the next one down, which is the Mavic Air. So the Mavic Air is like the size of a smaller phone, but the wings fold out again, and that shoots 1080p. But it has gesture controls on it so that you can, tell it to take a picture without holding the controller. So you kind of put your hands up in a square, like if you're gonna simulate, like like the old style movie on TV where they would kind of frame a film shot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's how that's done. Okay, because I knew that you could use hand gestures. As long as it can see you, it'll follow along with your hand gestures. So you can do one of those drone selfies. That's very cool. Now, the only other questions I've got for you, there's one other one, right? The entry level?
Then the Spark. The Spark is even smaller. So the Spark is more of like a selfie drone, but it does come with a remote, which it can go way out there, man. I mean, it can still go out there upwards to a mile. And but this one's more like you launch it from your hand, it takes off, you can wave to it to go away, come back, go left, go right, go up, and then have it take a picture remotely or whatever. It's super capable, even though it's smaller and cheaper.
Now, do any of these come with lasers yet, Ron? I need lasers so that the next time I'm laying on the beach and in my running splits, and this drone comes back to spy on me, I can send my own drone up there and make them fight.
Use some missiles on there or something, or maybe put some I don't know, metal blades on it and have it go, I don't know.
Water gun, maybe a little water pistol.
You need lasers.
I need freaking lasers. Gotcha. Hey, so
the technology's so good, man.
And I know that you guys are all about technology, right? So you were the guy that I wanted to call on this. Folks, if you're thinking about Father's Day, for me specifically, the $999 model. If you're thinking about one for your husband, I'd get him the entry-level one. And you like the prices and all of that stuff. You can pick them up over wherever Docomo is sold, right?
Yep.
Okay, so have I made you and both of the Toms look really, really good for your new boss now? Okay, see, that's what I was going for. We'll work on the contract. I'll talk to you later. That's my buddy Ron Brewster from the Chief Science Officer over at Docomo. Always fun to talk with him and explore new technology as it goes. I mean that's the cool stuff. That's the hotness these days. Forget about bringing lugging cameras with you wherever you go. Just bring your kids' graduation, right? UOG Fieldhouse, drones. We should have just like a drone area, right?
You know who does really good work with those, and like what I like seeing is Kaz. I don't really run in those those trench mudders and those big obstacle courses that he's got, but I like to see them via the drone. Like when the drone kind of travels along the like the route of those obstacle courses that he got. It's just just neat. Drone footage to me is I just can't get tired of it. I go on Instagram, people bump up their social media presence just with the addition of drones. And
see, I bumped up mine because I took my profile picture of me with a shirt off.
Yeah,
very, very.
That's true.
Crazy. Anyway, 8:33. Listen, I got to let you go. I appreciate the a lot of talk on the sports. We'll get together again tomorrow about this time. Headlines with Kevin Kerrigan coming up next.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
Chili's Rib Fest is back. You can get saucy with their fall off the bone, slow smoked half rack of ribs for $10.99. Available in original, roasted garlic, or honey chipotle flavors. Served with home style fries. Add an additional half rack of ribs for just $7. Low and slow is the key to more flavor. Chili's Rib Fest for $10.99. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
Baby back, baby back, baby back.
I screwed it up yesterday, right? When we did the intros on the headlines. No, it was coming out of the headlines. It's that weird part where I got to say furniture Kathy style and then do the iConnect time. Okay, I'll try to do it better today. Sorry, talking with my producer. We have high standards on this program, and yesterday the program was only an 8 on a scale of 10 because I screwed up the end of the 8:30 headlines. 8:30 headlines brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style, Guam's newest furniture store, now open with headlines from the Guam Daily Post. This is Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, Air Force One touching down at Andersen Air Force Base about 2 a.m. this morning. Governor Eddie Calvo went aboard to greet President Donald Trump, who was making a brief pit stop here on island on his way back from the Singapore summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Adelup says the governor gave President Trump a religious scapular for his wife Melania, and he thanked the president on behalf of the people of Guam for the president's efforts to bring peace to the Asia-Pacific region. At that Singapore summit, President Trump announced that he had agreed to halt U.S. military exercises in South Korea and suspend bomber aircraft flyovers from Guam over the Korean peninsula. The president also said that North Korea has committed to a full removal of its nuclear arsenal, but no firm timeline was announced. Documents recently unsealed in the District Court of Guam show that 2 separate priority mail packages shipped to the island in early May held nearly 6 pounds of crystal methamphetamine when intercepted by federal law enforcement authorities. Search warrants for the 2 packages were unsealed. One parcel came from Hawaii and the other from California, according to the documents. The package from Hawaii held more than 5 pounds of meth. It was addressed to a post office box in Agate. The other package contained 459 grams of meth. It had been mailed from Los Angeles to a residence in Chalan-Pago. Tracking devices were placed inside each package. They were delivered on May 2nd. However, the court documents do not reveal the names of the persons who the packages were addressed to, nor whether any arrests were made. The trial of 27-year-old Jovan Michael Cruz continues today in Superior Court. Cruz, charged in connection with the robbery of the RU Game Room in Dededo. In court yesterday, witnesses were asked about a search of Cruz's residence and car, and jurors were also allowed to watch a surveillance video of the robbery. Cruz faces separate criminal charges for his alleged involvement in a string of robberies that occurred from May 16th to May 21st at the Lucky Land Game Room and the robbery of tourists at Ritidian Beach and Ritidian Point. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Okay, sponsor mention iConnect. Sponsor mention iConnect. Okay. Furniture, the preceding newscast brought to you by Furniture Cathy Style, Guam's newest furniture store, now open, offering a fabulous selection of furniture and ultra-hot deals every day. The stylish and comfortable Domino relaxing sofa and love seat. Huh? The sofa and the love seat, $999. It's style you can afford. Furniture, Cathy Style, located in Agutya. iConnect time is 8:37. Connect longer for less with iConnect's incredible push-to-talk and mobile plans.
At Micronesia Renewable Energy, values matter. So all of their solar energy systems come with guarantees and the most value. No shortcuts, all quality. It's giving you that solar energy system at the best price. It's using highly efficient solar panels with typhoon-proven racking, built by highly skilled local technicians, so your system performs and saves you money. It's total peace of mind all the time. Not all solar companies are created equal. For experienced quality solar, it's MRE. Call 632-2613. MRE, the smarter choice.
Thanks very much at Cold Stone Creamery. Dads, take the cake this Father's Day. He'll love the new Oreo cookies and cream. Oh, you like the way I said this? Oreo cookies and cream extreme. Ice cream cake plus the tall, dark, and delicious ice cream cake. Order yours online at coldstonecakes.com. Only at Cold Stone Creamery, the ultimate ice cream experience.
Water. It covers nearly 3/4 of our Earth. From vast oceans to millions of rivers and streams, we're all concerned with protecting our world's water. But none is more important than the water you and your family drink and use throughout your home. A Connecticut water treatment system can improve your water so that your family is using the best water in the world. Connecticut, for refreshing ideas on water.
American Water Tech. Smarter water. Better water. Call American Water Tech at 649-2301 or email info@americanwatertech.com.
There might be some traffic, but less and less these days because it's summer. There's no buses on the road. There's no kids driving around out there, and not a whole lot of adults. I think everybody's found a way to get on an airplane and either vacation or staycation. Nothing wrong with that. Getting out of the Guam International Airport, that little bit of traffic leading up to that intersection that merges with the one that comes down from Tidzin, and getting out of Tumon up Santos Hill. That's the one that comes up to Weston and Bayview over there. That one is beginning to snag up just a little bit as a lot of people coming out trying to get onto Marine Corps Drive, but it looks like smooth sailing everywhere. I don't see anything in front of Anderson, and I don't see anything in front of Big Navy anymore. Don't even see anything in front of Navy Hospital. Just be one of those groovy kind of Wednesday mornings, 20 away from 9 o'clock in the morning. That's traffic and the news and the weather right here on The Point.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
I hear you say ho. Ho, ho, ho. Sorry, I'm in one of those moods. You know why? You know why? Because there's going to be peace in the peninsula. There's finally going to be peace in the Korean Peninsula. We haven't quite gotten to the point where they've started talking about the declaration of peace. There has always been a state of war that has taken place, so only held together by tenuous intentions and tons of men and equipment and bombs and war-making devices on either side of the DMZ. But it looks like people are starting to talk about a positive relationship between the United States and the People's Republic of North Korea there, DPRK. And that's going to be good news. I know that there's a lot of people out there that are poo-pooing it and just looking for any opportunity to give Trump a hard time on this, but I believe it's a real accomplishment. And from the perspective of somebody that lives here, that has been, the tip of the spear and a very bold target on a lot of people's strategic maps, I'm happy to at least look forward to a time where we've got one less jittery enemy out there. And as I said, Clinton couldn't do it, Obama couldn't do it, Kerry couldn't do it, Dennis Rodman did. And I'm just going to leave that there. It's 8:41. My name is Ray Gibson. We were looking for Greg Massey and Sam Mabini earlier to talk a little bit about the idea that, hey, happy days are here again. We've got at least 30 or so boots on the ground that will be working with the local company to do some work on the other side of the fence. And so I wanted to get some comment from the guys over at the Department of Labor on that. So Greg Massey, along with Dr. Sam Mabini, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Ray. Thank you for having me and Greg.
Oh, no problem. Hey, you know what? Before we get to that, though, because I know that you are a news watcher and a world watcher here, your comments and maybe a little bit of your, I don't know, back of the envelope thinking on what it means, this summit that took place yesterday.
I'm sorry, the last
the summit that took place yesterday?
Oh, you're talking. Oh, my opinion. I think it is a sense of relief for many people, for myself as well personally. But I think, like you had just shared earlier, there are many attempts in the past to be able to seek resolution, and I think this is for me. I think this would be a message of growth potential for Guam in particular. Now that safety is not so much of a concern. Security always, of course, but still, definitely now we can lift that veil and we can start moving forward.
I hope so. Well, I talked with Pudding in Washington, D.C., and she said that, maybe there might be something happening soon. She wasn't able to give me a lot of specifics and detail work on it, but she said maybe something will be happening soon where we might hear from Secretary Nielsen at U.S. DOL and maybe some people over at State that might see the way towards bringing more H-2 guys out here without so much of a cap here to deal with the civilian side of the construction industry.
As far as I know, what I have been discussing with Greg, at least we are aware of the extension of the national cap. Other than that, I'm not quite sure what Margaret may have. Yeah, and I'm excited to hear what news she has to share from her and from the U.S. Department of Labor side. They continue to provide support for us to train our American workers. But from the USCIS, unfortunately, I can't speak to that.
No, I understand, and maybe there'll be something coming out of the administration a little bit later on. I've got a couple of other folks I want to get to before the end of the hour. So without spending too much time, I wanted to get both of your thoughts on the arrival, and there are pictures floating around on the net now. The arrival of these H-2 employees. We went from having 0 and virtually overnight we're up to about 30 or so.
Right, and there's been a lot of work that happened in the background to get us to where we're at today, and so we're excited to see movement. And those 30 are attached to the NDAA workers, and Greg has further details on that. But for the most part, this is the first wave of workers that are really coming in. There are still some steps that have to be taken with our office, the ALPCD office, in order to register them before they can get actual boots working on the ground. I'll have Greg take that on because it's his office, his great work that he's doing.
Hey, good morning, Greg.
So what's going to happen is in the next week or so, we're going to do some additional vetting that we have, make sure all their docs are in place. check over their contracts and stuff, and then we'd go ahead and register them and give them H2 ID cards, which would finally allow them to start working. Then they're going to have to go ahead and go through the base pass process and all that stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys were here before, so hopefully they should start working soon. Now, again, these are only inside the fence.
Right.
So we're still kind of working on those outside the fence things, and we haven't stopped working on pushing for that. And, of course, the Guam Contractors Association lawsuit is one of those initiatives.
Exactly. And we look and wait and with our fingers crossed that maybe there's going to be some positive action and perhaps the United States will get out of our way and let us get this work done. There's a whole lot that needs to get done, and with the costs arguably going to be going up and the lack of the manpower, it really is stifling some of the development that we've got going on here on Guam. Last question for you guys before I let you run. This is just the first wave. Are you anticipating, Greg, any additional numbers in the next few days, weeks?
Well, from what they've told us is that they intend to start bringing in, differing numbers kind of on a weekly basis. So, of course, we'll have to wait and see how many they actually bring in. But this is, it's good news. It's the start. So the numbers should start, rising steadily from here. I guess the pace and how many is all dependent on how many visas get issued per week out of the State Department, and I guess airline capacity and stuff like that.
All right. Keep me posted, would you guys? I appreciate it. Sam and Greg from the Department of Labor. Talk to you again soon. I got to break away, and we'll get together again. I promise. I appreciate it. 8:47, and when the summit was happening, when it was all done, there were some questions that were posed to me about people that I'd like to talk to about what we suppose peace in the peninsula is going to mean. And obviously, the first thing that pops into your head is, as Sam did, her first blush was going to be, well, I suppose that means with less of a target painted on us by circumstances in our region, that ought to be good for the hospitality industry. And to the degree that we package up the Koreans and the Japanese as tourists in general, and that maybe I'd talk to somebody who's got expertise in both of those regions, Bart Jackson, and see what his thoughts were, post summit. Good morning, Bart.
Half a day, Ray.
How you doing there?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much.
Can I give you another shout for the quality people that you've got working at the bar at Santa Fe? I love going there.
Thank you so much.
And do take care of me. Anyway, but now that post-summit, we got Trump and Kim shaking hands, walking down the red carpet.
Yeah, it can't help but be a good thing. We may lose a little bit of military business, but there are a bunch of exercises that they do in this part of the world which kind of help the island and bring some folks in. But overall, I can't help but think that it's going to be a great net positive, especially in the Japan market. We lost so much school business, so much student business from Japan when all of that rhetoric between Trump and Kim Jong-un got started earlier, or rather at the end of last year. So much, really thousands and thousands of arrivals, thousands and thousands of room nights. And clearly, any time that we can quiet things down, the Japan market, which can be so skittish, is going to respond positively, and that kind of builds on itself. There are more cancellations, and then airlines get nervous and they start canceling flights, et cetera, et cetera. But now that things look to be a bit quieter, I think Japan is going to be back on track. Korea, I don't really see much of a change. The Korean market lives with the North Korea every day.
Yeah.
The numbers are astounding still, and so I don't think it'll really have any impact. It's already so good.
Well, do you suppose? I mean, I was doing a little bit of long-range projections, and I was thinking in terms of, well, what happens if all of a sudden the borders are all the way open, and the South Koreans begin to share business practices and technology and workflow ideas with the North Koreans, and pretty soon they become the next Vietnam. They become the next, assembly or manufacturing destination or market in the peninsula, and all of a sudden the North Koreans start traveling. There's some good tidings if we could manipulate something like that into existence, don't you think?
Well, long term, absolutely. I think a better model for that is the East Germany, West Germany model when the wall came down. And I think the challenge for the industrialized side of that is that North Korea is so poor, so impoverished, with so many incredible social problems, that the cost of addressing those that will have to be borne by South Korea can really put a snag in the South Korean economy in the short term. Now, as you say, long term, there's all kinds of opportunities.
Yeah.
But short term, the social cost that a country like South Korea would have to absorb if they were to open those borders and get things going might not allow the growth to continue. I mean, it's all, at this point, it's all conjecture.
Oh, yeah. Well, but I mean, the connection for South Korea into a little bit more of a tighter relationship with the Chinese market nearby that they've never had access to. And then you look at these guys and think about where South Korea was even 30 years ago and the enormous development that they have seen on their own in just the last 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to see, if we could get better access to the Chinese market. I mean, that's obviously the game.
Via North Korea.
Yeah, if now Trump makes friends with North Korea and maybe he makes friends with China, he certainly let China off the hook on a couple of things. So if he's going to be better friends with them, allows that visa waiver to come through, I mean, that's really the game changer for Guam. So, with Trump, you never know. You never know from day to day, from moment to moment. You just never know. But clearly, this is going to be a net positive for the Japan market. For Korea, it's not going to be bad. And so overall, it's got to be good news for us. And who doesn't want a more peaceful region? And I think that psychologically and economically, these are all great things for Guam.
I want you to help me segue into something. I've got Lulian Guerrero is in Lou and Josh on the next line. I wanted to talk with her about communications that she has had recently with the Congresswoman to make sure that we are supportive of a certain measure through there that involves marijuana on Guam. And just from the perspective of somebody that watches the hospitality industry and that sees the markets here, do you suppose that would be what advice would you have for Lou in building this marijuana plank on her platform?
Well, it certainly looks like if we can ever get our medicinal marijuana laws, going, that there are great opportunities for medicinal marijuana tourism. Again, primarily from the Japan market, and the Japan market, of course, is an aging population. There are lots of folks who are getting older, and as other certain diseases kick in, medicinal marijuana is a great benefit. And so if we can get that going, I think that there'll be immediate positive impact to tourism with medicinal marijuana.
Well, let me.
Yeah.
I was going to say, let me talk to her about that. I don't know that they'd considered that as part of the plank of the as I say, their marijuana platform plank, but we'll find out. Bart, I got to let you run. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Ray. Anytime. My pleasure.
Anytime. Okay, I'll let you know when you can get me some Heineken Lights downstairs.
Anytime. Anytime.
All right, 8:54. Auntie Lou's online. Good morning, Auntie Lou. How you doing?
Hi, Ray. Good. I'm very good. Thank you.
But your thoughts quickly on the because I know you're not a fan of Trump, but I'm sure that you're delighted of the possibilities of peace on the peninsula here. But what are your thoughts on the summit moving forward for Guam?
Well, I think if it does move forward, I think it's going to be very positive for our people here. I agree with Bart. I think we might improve our market share for Japan. Mm-hmm. And also with North Korea, South Korea gets together, that's another market over there. So anytime, Ray, that there is peace in the world, I think that's going to be good for our people here.
We just keep an eye on it and see if we can find some other opportunities to exploit.
I want to know exactly what's the give and take, right? What the negotiated items are, what the conditions are. And I don't think that's been totally put out. So,
well, remember, it'll end up being a treaty, and that's something that we're all going to have to work together, including the president and Congress, as we move forward on that. You had, speaking of Congress, you'd sent a letter. You and Josh had sent a letter off to Delegate Berdallo asking about her support for some legislation in Washington, D.C.
Yes, I know that there's a bill that was introduced in the Senate, and it's Senate Bill number 3032, Ray, and it's a bipartisan bill. Sponsors are Senator Cory Gardner of Colorado and Senator Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts. Now, these two states have medicinal and I think recreational marijuana, and they see the problems going on there in terms of a lot of operational issues. And so they've introduced this bill to really remove the federal government from implementing any kind of enforcement into the states and local cities and states that have approved marijuana, recreational, and medicinal. So I think it's a step in the right direction to help with that industry. But more importantly, I wrote to Congresswoman Berdallo because I wanted to make sure that Guam is included in this bill. And it is included because state is defined to also include the territories, Guam, CNMI, and Virgin Islands, and so forth. So
we want to maintain that language. We don't want that to change so that we're treated differently than the states, like we are with EITC, et cetera. So the very important parts of that legislation and making sure that we have the Congresswoman's buy-in.
Right. I also understand and know from communications with Congresswoman Berdallo that there is the same identical bill that's being introduced in the House, and she's a co-sponsor for that bill. So.
What is the rest of your marijuana platform? I heard a little bit about it. Are you just going to say how do we streamline the medicinal marijuana, or are you at this point, after talking with constituents and town halls and things like that, are you ready to have the conversation about let's just make it recreational or grow your own or whatever, and get the government instead of larger government, get the government out of the process, because it seems to only be slowing it down.
Right, I have publicly stated and support the legalization of marijuana. I think it would, like you said, expedite more for our people in terms of their needs for medicinal purposes. And also, I think it's going to be another source of revenue from another industry that we have. And I know people are a little bit kind of leery about it, but if we really control it, regulate it, legalize it, control it, regulate it, just like we do alcohol, tobacco that way, but even more stringent regulations, I think it'll work. I really believe that would work.
I wonder what we'd need to do here. I mean, I know that there's work that needs to be done over that would need to be done over at the legislature, and I don't know what kind of I mean, depending on how laissez-faire we wanted to get with it and make it so that I've got a couple of pots growing in the backyard. Mike's got a couple of growing in the backyard. To what degree would the government be able to regulate that? And if there was any kind of commerce between Mike and I, mine's better than his or his is better than mine, how does the government get its share there?
Well, other states, actually Washington State is the one that I'm a little bit familiar with. They don't allow homegrown. They've regulated retail distribution of marijuana. And, they have age requirements. So the same kind of regulations as, say, for alcohol and tobacco. Yeah. And it's working in Washington State. I was there and I went to a retail distributor for marijuana. I was curious about how it
What'd you buy me? What did you buy me? Did you get me some? Hey, Auntie, I'm sorry, I've got the news coming up. I get a little bit behind, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew what you were working towards that and the connection between what we want to do here and making sure that we don't get pinched by the Fed. I'll talk to you later. We are KUSG Hagåtña. That's Lulian Guerrero, and this is Fox News.
Repeals a just passed extra tax tax that would have affected large companies. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has more live.
Lisa, Seattle's mayor and many council members said they repealed the tax on businesses like Amazon and Starbucks to avoid an expensive fight. The corporations backed a signature gathering effort to put a measure on the November ballot to overturn the tax. Councilmember Michael Bryan expressed deep ambivalence, saying the city has invested in affordable housing, but can't just take cash from other programs to do more to help the homeless.
I'm in a position where I'm going to vote to repeal this, and I do not have a replacement for you. But
he said this proved members of certain communities have the power to stop things. The vote was 7-2 to repeal the tax, Lisa.
Jessica, the AT&T Time Warner merger gets the okay from a federal judge.
Judge Richard Leon, kind of an old school guy, hardline judge. He ruled against the DOJ because he said they did not meet the burden of proof, which was their responsibility in this case.
Hillary Vaughn with the Fox Business Network. 5 states holding primaries tonight with polls in 2 states, South Carolina and Virginia, just closing. Fox's Steve Rappaport has more live.
Lisa, South Carolina Republican Governor Henry McMaster faces 4 primary challengers. GOP Congressman and former Governor Mark Sanford takes on State Rep Katie Arrington. She says Sanford is not a strong supporter of President Trump. In Virginia, 3 Republicans battling to face Senate Democrat and former vice presidential nominee Tim Kaine in November. In Maine, Democrats and Republicans have big shoes to fill in primaries to succeed outgoing and outspoken Governor Paul LePage. And in North Dakota, Republican Congressman Kevin Cramer is expected to win his primary to face Senate Democrat Heidi Heitkamp. Nevada also holding contest today. Lisa?
Thanks, Steve. On Wall Street, the Dow down about a point. The Nasdaq added 43. The S&P gained 4 points. Fox News, fair and balanced.
More than 40 local companies have partnered with Take Care to bring you some of the best deals across the island through the Take Care Affinity Rewards program. From Spa Bali, Guam Reef and Gabriel's Restaurant to Tango Theaters, Dolce Frutti, and many more. Take Care members can simply present their membership cards at our partner locations to receive a special offer or discount. For a complete listing of Take Care's affinity partners and deals, visit TakeCareAsia.com or check out our Take Care app for all the latest updates.
Howdy, folks. KFC's Colonel Sanders here. It's summer, and KFC has something extra special to spice it up with KFC's new Sriracha Extra Tasty Crispy Chicken. Yup, we kicked up our Pika chicken a notch with Sriracha. Sriracha! It's spicy, tangy, and sweet. You've never had Sriracha like this before, so spice up your summer with KFC's new Sriracha Crispy Chicken. KFC is finger-licking good.
.org.
Both sides of the aisle weighing in on President Trump's historic meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
Republican Senator Bob Corker sounding cautiously optimistic. Something of substance came out of the summit, but he wants to hear more details from Secretary of State Mike Pompeo.
I think getting Pompeo in to talk with us more fully about what has happened will be very helpful.
Democratic Senator Tim Kaine questions the president's decision to end joint military exercises on the Korean Peninsula.
North Korea reaffirming something it had already said is not getting anything.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham says ending the war games for now will give more breathing space to actually sit down and negotiate. In Washington, Rachel Sutherland, Fox News.
A school district in central Indiana accepting the resignation of a teacher who disagreed with a policy requiring educators to address transgender students by their preferred name rather than their birth name. John Klug says he submitted his resignation letter last month because officials threatened to fire him over his view of the policy because of his religious beliefs. Students must have written consent from a parent and doctor to request a name change, according to district documents. For the third time in 40 years, Oakland, California, getting to celebrate a Golden State Warriors title.
Finals MVP Kevin Durant taking the mic during a mini rally along the parade route.
I felt like we built a nice bond over the last few years, and it's only getting stronger and stronger, and it showed on the basketball court.
The third parade for Golden State in 4 years, this one more of an interactive experience than in years past. Players and coaches walking around with megaphones and taking selfies with Warriors fans, getting a little closer to their favorites.
Fox's Matt Napolitano. The drama students from Florida's Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School have made another surprise appearance in New York City. Last night, the students appeared at a fundraiser in Central Park for the city's Shakespeare in the Park program. The students also made an appearance during Sunday's Tony Awards. Their teacher was honored during the show. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
Connect back to more this summer. With fiber internet from GTA, you get up to 50 megabits of data per second for only $50 per month. And if that's not enough, Fiber Internet 50 plan includes free Wi-Fi. But this offer ends June 30, so sign up today and get ready for faster downloads, more streaming, a better gaming experience, and a stable connection across multiple devices. Conditions may apply. Visit GTA.net for more details. GTA, your island, your network.
A King's Restaurant serving local lunch favorites Monday through Friday. Today is bistek tomorrow, and then tomorrow, no, that was yesterday. Today is pork sinigang. Tomorrow is meatloaf, and Fridays is beef tanak-tak. Or choose their pick 2 or 3 combos for lunch at King's today.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Portions of the program brought to you by American President Lines. APL shipping the... Is he going to do it? Is he going to do the future echo thing? Is he just going to say future? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Here, do it in your head.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
Chili's Rib Fest is back. You can get saucy with their fall-off-the-bone, slow-smoked half-rack of ribs for $10.99. Available in original, roasted garlic, or honey chipotle flavors. Served with home-style fries. Add an additional half-rack of ribs for just $7. Low and slow is the key to more flavor. Chili's Rib Fest for $10.99. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
Baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
The Ray Gibson Show, your new News Talk headquarters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Were you pointing at me? Do I have something in my nose? I got a booger? No? Okay. I live for that, ladies and gentlemen. 7 after 9, this is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray Gibson. Michael Knight presses the buttons, and we'll put you on all the way through the studio when you call at 888-8255. I'm turning my... do I do this? No, turn on his microphone so you can see who I've got in the studio. Very close friend, a personal friend. Anybody that's listened to me in broadcast over the years knows that this guy here is indeed one of my oldest and best friends. One of the first faces I think that I ever remembering from when we were little kids at Oka. You know, back in the day.
Now the GMH.
What's that? Yeah, now Guam Memorial Hospital. Right. I think, what do they call it? The Z wing. Yeah. Is where you and I went to school when we were kids. Yeah, right. But and I don't know what's happening with the...
Because you took the hammer to the wall when you were younger anyways.
Well, you know, I'm sure there was a pretty good reason. I don't remember what it is. Hey, don't tell my stories. I'll tell your stories.
All right, okay.
Whatever you heard, it's true, and it makes it easy for us to get away with the things that we actually do. So we were Friday night, just before the world ended, and we all got word that Anthony Bourdain died.
Right.
And I think we got him at the same time. You and I, we were hanging out, and I don't even know what the fundraiser was for.
It was for my sister's gonna kill me, but it was for Skip Entertainment.
Oh, I saw Terry. Terry's back, and she's actually on a plane this morning. She's coming back next week, and they're going to be doing the ribbon cutting. They're apparently going to be selling her clothing line, Terry Knapp's clothing line, at DFS. Yeah, I don't know if that might be a secret. So if just don't say you heard it from me. If
so it's like the judge tells the jury, you didn't hear that.
Yeah. Just forget about it. But congratulations to Terry, and as you said, fundraiser for Skip. So we'd ended up there, right. Me and the crew, and I saw Frank, and Frank said, "Hey, you got to try this. Guess what I'm doing?" And it's like, what else are you doing? Frank's always got, he's busy like his old man always was. So and it's some kind of, I'll show you it on the camera. And this is some kind of a jelly, jam?
It's a jam.
It's a jam.
It's a preserve. Yeah,
a preserve.
Right.
Okay, made from?
Mango.
Hey, did you compete with this at the Mango Festival?
No.
What?
I don't compete against people. I just do that for
good times?
Just for good times.
Are you selling it?
No.
Oh, it's just for me?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. All right. So, Mike, I'm not going to make you do anything. So you're welcome to come over here and try one of these and see if they work. So because I'm a local guy, I know what the mango of Guam is supposed to taste like, and I will tell you whether you've been able to preserve it adequately. And he's not from around here, but he might just like it because it tastes good.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna get some of mine. In the meantime, while I'm eating this, I need you to answer this question for the listeners.
Sure.
Why the hell are you running for office again?
I'm not running for office.
What?
No, I'm not.
I thought I heard.
You heard there was.
Well, that was a short answer. Didn't give me time enough to put this in. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's unexpected.
There you go. Yeah, that's from Daryl.
It's not heavy mango. There's, it's like Denanza. You want another flavor in there. You know it's going to be mango, but people make Denanza and make it too hot.
Right.
I like some texture. I like some balance in here. And you've got that. So why aren't you selling this? Open up a hole between your house and Cool Spot and see if we can get something. Going to have another one. Yeah. So again, now how did this rumor get started?
Not the rumor. What it was is, and there are people that still. To this day, of course, I think the filing deadline is on the 26th.
Talk louder.
The filing deadline is on the 26th.
Yeah.
That said, though, is that there was this hope and there was this, conversation about that they'd like for me to go back into the legislature.
Mm-hmm.
And, but public service has always been, in the
hallmark
family.
of the family, yeah.
However, right now, my concentration, especially in this time right now, is making sure that as many war survivors that we have that are still alive, do their claims. Okay, and so
deadline's the end of the month, isn't it?
Deadline's the 20th.
Oh, that's right.
Right, the deadline's the 20th. And so, just like yesterday I spent some time with several war survivors who needed assistance in filling out their claims, and that's what I do. And so while my effort is being concentrated on that afterwards and everything, when my father passed, he left a legacy and he also left a family business to run. And so my father, short in stature as he was, has some really huge shoes to fill.
Yeah, there's an understatement.
And so I've got that, for lack of a better term, responsibility, not just to the business, but to the family, to keep that going. And prior to his passing, there were a number of projects that we had working that are just now coming to fruition and coming on board. And I think that if I step away, unlike what most people think, being a legislator is a full-time job.
Shouldn't be.
It should be. It was for me.
Well, because we got a full-time legislature. I'm telling you, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
We can do a part-time legislature.
We can have that other conversation later.
When your grandfather and your dad and my grandfather were knocking around the 1960s, even back before Carlos Camacho days, the Guerrero administration, et cetera. I mean, it was a part-time legislature. Guys with smarts, business experience, business skills could take some time out of their day, out of their month, and go to the legislature for the occasional session, the occasional hearing, and take care of the business of the legislature, which at the end of the day is just, let's take care of the budget. Right? And find out what important laws there are to pass, as opposed to now we've got 15 people that are sitting around looking for, that have solutions to problems that don't exist yet.
Yes, and that therein lies,
which leads me to believe that the smart money for us might be to go to a part-time legislature, in which case you could still fulfill all of the legacy desires of your father, all of the business projects that you and he had developed, and the ones that you want to do. You could still do that and provide the service to the community in the legislature.
So going back to the original question. Okay. Because of all the responsibilities that I have, I've got to fulfill those. Like I said, right now, the priority is with the war survivors.
Right.
Okay. And I don't want it to be taken that the reason why I'm doing this is for political purposes or for political aspirations. This has got nothing to do with that.
Do you still have political aspirations?
Yeah, well, I do. Down
Congress?
the road.
You want to do Congress again?
Road. We'll see. Okay, so, you're not going to have that conversation.
Well, I know, but you came, so I'm going to have the conversation.
Yeah, we can have that conversation.
Well, I guess 9:14. I got 45 more minutes to kill before the end of the show.
I'm going to tell the people that people are 2012. I don't know if you remember this conversation. It was in the parking lot of my headquarters. We're sitting there waiting for the results to come in. A friend that you are. First results hadn't even come out, and he goes, "So, what do you plan on doing tomorrow for the rest of your life?" I looked at him. I said, "That's a lot of confidence."
Yeah,
coming
but
from
I've always been honest with you.
Yes, yes.
I'm the one friend that tells you I don't think you've got the political capital to take down the great, the beloved Madeline Burdell. I'm not even sure Doris Brooks has got it.
And that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
So that people can understand the relationship.
Yeah.
We don't hold punches back. That's never been our class, quite honestly.
Yeah. And me least of all, because he counts on me to provide the same way that I do with you. I count on you to provide the no BS answer to whatever the question is going to end up being. And when he comes to me and says, "Do you think I can make it to Washington D.C.?" I say, "Not against her."
Yeah.
That's a tough one. And so what you're going to need to do is get with her and have her appoint you, because she ain't going to do it for anybody in her party, because they've all run against her at one point or another. So it's gonna have to be. I always did like you and your dad. So, Frank, you could become the next congressperson, but there's still more that needs to get done. What do you think about the? It's still fresh in the headlines. Trump and Kim.
Historic.
Yeah, historic's a good
word. And it's a good start. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then the reason why I say it's a start is there was never been merely just that handshake between the two heads of the two nations,
supreme leader and the president of the United States,
president of the United States, and we like everybody else, are hopeful and continue to pray that there's going to be more to this. There's going to be more coming out of this, and I'm sure there is.
Boy, there's some trust issues, though. I think on both sides.
There is,
for sure.
And in any relationship, I was listening to commentary last night about, the handshake is the start of the trust process. Mm-hmm. Okay, where the handshake never existed. It never happened before. With any supreme being from North Korea and head of state from the United States.
Well, the state of wars existed between us since the 50s.
Exactly. And so to have this conversation, to have the handshake, and to have, I was surprised they had 4x4 conversations. Mm-hmm. For a lot of people who don't know what 4x4 is you take an hour, then you break, and then take another hour. Do this 4 times. When you have 4x4 conversations that preceded a 41, or that followed a 41-minute private conversation, and that followed lengthy, I'm sure, negotiations and conversations prior to the summit, okay, to come out with that one-page document, albeit it wasn't as general, it was very general. It laid the framework.
But I think it's a good document. I mean, it just said, listen, we're going to work together, and we're going to find a relationship that we can both agree on. Yeah. We will join efforts to build a lasting and stable peace regime on the Korean Peninsula. Mm-hmm. And that, I don't know why that's second. I would have put that one first. Reaffirming the Panmunjom decision, and we've left bodies behind, and maybe there are missing in action. There are POWs. Can we have those repatriated back to the States? And that one resonated with me, and sort of on a personal level. I was running yesterday, and the route that I chose and the distance that I chose, my turnaround point was at the Naval Cemetery in Agana. And so I was walking around there, catching my breath, and out on the southern side, there's some folks there that had been dead for an awful long time. And then there's a couple of marked as unknown graves. And there's another grave there, and I want to say the fellow's name was Mesa. And he was killed in the Korean War, and his body brought back here and buried at Naval Cemetery. And so I was thinking as I was running, and running back to the car, how the world kind of synchronizes itself up. As I'm running, as I'm thinking about this, as I'm strolling around that graveyard, one of the things that stays in my head is the headstone of somebody who gave his life for the country. Guamanian gave his life for the country in Korea, and here we are, maybe finally getting around to the end of the war for him, right? And I just thought, well, that's a good place to.
It just puts meaning to the sacrifice that he made, and I'm just glad. I'm glad that it happened. I continue to pray that that there's going to be many good things that are coming out of it.
What?
You and I are both conservatives. I had a lot.
I'm a conservative. When the hell did that happen? What? Oh my God!
What I found.
I was distracted. I was just looking at the Facebook Live here and noticing that Sister Shelley is saying, "Please, Daryl, go back in the legislature." Right, Romeo Carlos, another famed conservative, I guess. Is Daryl, dude, half a day, brother.
Hey, half a day, Romeo.
Right, so Romeo, what you got to do here, Romeo, is you've got to design a logo for Frank's. If we can keep it in the building, design a logo for Frank's Mango Preserves. These are really, really good. Oh, is that the last one? Okay,
no, I get some more.
Let me just have a little bit of that.
Yeah,
you were saying conservative.
Well, you and I both. I just lost my train of thought as to why
identified conservative.
We're both identified conservatives and everything. But there you go. I was listening to, I was listening to CNN, watching CNN. I've seen two different perspectives last night.
God.
Yeah. And,
Romeo says he'll design it for food. You know where the house is, right?
Romeo not only knows where the house is, he knows where the office is.
Yeah.
Okay, he's okay. So he did some work out of there for a little bit. But, going back to, wow, as historic and monumental as the handshake was, to be able to lead toward a peaceful process, in the Korean Peninsula and the denuclearization, which is what they committed to. It was just funny how they said, I'm just disappointed that you didn't talk about human rights.
I saw that. I was so mad.
Yeah.
I was like, that wasn't the time or the place.
No, it wasn't. But when you talk about peace and you talk about denuclearization, you're talking about people's rights, people's human rights too as well. It's a whole process.
Yeah.
But to say, I'm just greatly disappointed.
Yeah, I was disappointed when I saw that as well. I thought, you know what, he could have just said, this is going to be good for everybody, and we'll watch it unfold, and we'll guide it from wherever we can, whether we're in Washington or whether we're in the media or all of this stuff. Now, I'm with you. That's the part that makes me crazy. Put everything aside just for a second, would you? This is not a Trump victory. This is not a Kim victory. This is a victory for everybody. And a great opportunity for all of us, especially us here in the region. And I'll go back to something that Uncle Carl Gutierrez has always said, whether you've agreed or not, we are America in Asia. And if there are good things developing over there in the Korean Peninsula, we will find a way to benefit one way or the other from that. Well, we should. Which is the next question I want to ask you. I mean, people think about you. They think about war survivors. They certainly think about the insurance business, et cetera. But, you're also kind of a big thinker. And, what are your thoughts about other opportunities in the region? And I'd love to say, what are we missing in the TPP that is now, I guess, the defunct TPP? But I always thought that there might be an opportunity to use that to launch into something else.
And there continues to be, because, the thing is, it goes back to business. And as far as the 3 words, location, location, location. Where else in the United States can you offer a business, either whether in Asia or in the continental United States, the opportunity to work on a platform where you can meet and get the best of both worlds? Okay, we've got people in here that are basically subject matter experts in dealing with Asia as well as dealing with the United States. I've always felt, wanted to put together, I'll tell you how this conversation started. When I was in the legislature, there was a discussion with GVB as to, how they break down their budgeting process. And, they had $250,000 that went toward the North American market. I said, so what do you do with that? And basically the conversation was, well, we go to Miami, we go to Las Vegas, and we sell, sun, sand, and surf. And I said, and we compete against the Caribbean and the Puerto Vallarta and Mexico and Virgin Islands and all those other places for $250,000.
It's not a whole lot.
Okay, yeah. And we're going to convince people to travel thousands of miles over here so they can get something that they can get 2 hours away.
In the backyard.
Backyard, back over there. Why don't we take that $250,000 and go to the different chambers in the different cities and states, okay, and introduce Guam as a perfect place to be able to set up a forward operating base, okay, into Asia, where 70% of the gross domestic product for the world exists. It's right in our backyard, 3 hours away. Give that opportunity for that 30-person business out of South Dakota who wants to be able to sell tractor parts to somebody in Da Nang, okay, or somewhere else in Asia, so that they can come and they can have business. You can, I've always said, sell the fact that from Guam you can go into Asia, do some business, come back, be home in time for dinner.
Yeah.
In the same time zone.
You and I know people that have done that. I knew a guy that flew to Japan virtually 2-3 times a week. He'd leave on the morning flight, go to Japan, conduct business, and get on the afternoon flight. He was home in time for dinner.
Yes. And
had a lot more flights back then, so I don't.
That's well, and
can't do it from Saipan anymore.
Maybe it's a good reason as to why now we can argue the point for more flights. Okay, we've got to get away from the mindset. Remember when the GDP, when the world's businesses were coming out of Europe, we got to remember the mindset of Europe. Europe is, don't worry, we'll take care of it. We'll take our siesta and we'll think about it and we'll call you tomorrow. Well, let's have coffee over this. So you basically had 3 or 4 days. They can say, okay, you can get to it when you can. In Asia, it's now. It's either if it wasn't done yesterday, it better be done 2 minutes ago. Okay, so there is that expectation of speed, and efficiency, and get there. We can provide that here. Your customer in Asia doesn't have to wait until 11 o'clock in the evening their time to speak to you at 8 o'clock in the morning your time.
Yep.
Okay, you're in the same time zone.
Well, even better. We're talking about manufacturing. We're talking about businesses. I was just recently in Hong Kong hanging out with a buddy, so I know what you mean. We were getting ready to go sailing, and he gets a telephone call from a contact that he's got in Shanghai or Beijing or someplace like that, and the conversation unfolded. I have to be in Vietnam tomorrow, but maybe the next day I'll fly up and see you because the business is so important, and it has to happen right now.
I know.
And this isn't going to wait until next week. You can't wait until I was going to be in Beijing with the kids or whatever. I can fly out and be there almost immediately. And then the other cool thing is when we stop and think about doing business in Asia, we aren't that far away from them in time, which means I can work with my contacts in Hong Kong late into my day. And even more as the clock moves through the time zones here, so you can continue to have these conversations almost on a 20-hour basis. Yeah. You just need to sleep for a little bit, Frank. Just a tiny, our age, 4 or 5 hours.
So going back.
By the way, Governor Gutierrez heard me talking about him and says 2 things on the Facebook. He said, "National Democrat talking points, so sad." He said, "You said that like Trump, so sad." You guys follow is so very, very sad. If you want to sound like Donald, and says Frank is right.
Yeah. Well, appreciate it. Thank you very much, Governor.
Yeah, and high praise.
But again, going back to this $250,000 annually that GVB has for this North American market.
If they don't sell it, then give the $250 to Gita and let Gita go and do that, because it sounds like it might be a little bit more in their lane. You're shooting me a look. You're shooting me a look. Okay. Do you not like?
I like it.
Better like my sister.
Because I'm going to, in defense of your sister, I had this conversation with them prior to her being there.
Right.
And I hate to say this, but this is the proverbial phrase: deer in headlights. Okay. I'm like, okay, this conversation is going to go somewhere pretty far, pretty quick. Okay, I'm hoping that now they can see what I'm saying. I did have this discussion with your sister at one point in time, and she liked it. Okay, and I know the intricacies in as far as moving, prioritizing, and whatnot. That said, while it didn't happen, and years ago, today's a great day to start it. Today's a great day to be able to start to look at going into chambers in the different states And instead of selling sun, sand, and surf, sell location, location, location.
Do we have to, and this is one of those discussion points among conservatives and liberals, even around here, is do we need qualifying certificates if we have location? If we're going to be talking to some of these guys and asking them to do some patriation in our direction, do we need the added value of a qualifying certificate?
Because we are the added value.
There.
We are the added value. We provide them, again, a location, a resource. All of the telecommunications that go into Asia, go to the United States from Asia, come through here.
Yeah.
Okay? So we have the infrastructure. We have the resource. We can talk to United and other airlines to bring in more flights so that we can start to do this. I'm sure they will. It's just that we have to have this conversation. Nobody's had this conversation in that context.
You don't need to be a senator to do that.
No,
you need to get on the radio every once in a while and ring a few bells.
Yeah.
Bring some more of that stuff. Bring some more like that. 9:30 in the morning. Listen, I'm going to cut you loose. And you can take the Ritz and you can take the Mr. Brown iced coffee. And you can leave the preserves. How much of this are you able to make on a regular basis?
I had two very abundant trees.
You better leave the Ritz.
Yeah, I'll just leave this here with you.
Yeah, okay. Look, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. See, you want some now, don't you? You realize now, if you've been on the radio, people are going to say, "Okay, let's go to Uncle Frank's house and see what he's got."
Yeah,
your 20 grandkids and all that.
I have no problem with that. Can I leave this with you? Okay.
Yeah.
Please. June 20th is the deadline for the war survivors. Okay. I'm going to make a challenge on your radio, on your talk show.
Okay.
Okay. To gubernatorial and to legislative camps. You've got supporters who are survivors who probably need help in being able to fill out their forms. Why don't you open up your headquarters to be able to assist survivors in filling out the forms prior to the deadline?
I'll tell you right now, Carl Gutierrez has the oldest supporters on Guam.
Well,
and that's a compliment, and I think he knows it. So maybe, and he's got a great spot there.
Yeah, they all have great spots.
Yeah,
except where's Frank Huggins?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay,
does he have one?
I don't know.
Is he really running? I'm just playing around. 9:31.
Now you know I'm not running, right?
Always good to see you. Frank Blouse Jr., ladies and gentlemen, and I appreciate the visit and appreciate the thinking that goes, the thoughts and the thinking behind the thoughts that you've shared with all of us today on The Point. Studio time, iConnect time. It's 9:31. iConnect wants you to connect longer for less with their push-to-talk and mobile plans.
With the largest inventory of rental equipment on Guam, East West Rental Center is sure to have the tool you need to get your job finished quickly. From equipment rental, party rental, parts and service to used equipment, East West Rental Center has what you need. Call East West Rental Center at 646-1463 or visit them online and browse through their online rental catalog at eastwestrental.com. They're located in Upper Tumon, right across St. John's School. East West Rental Center, providing the island of Guam with quality equipment rentals since 1972.
Wait, so which one am I supposed to be doing? Cold Stone Father's Day is coming up, and we spent a little bit of time this morning talking about Father's Day, and among the great gifts that you could give your beloved old man is that drone over at Docomo. You think, yeah, I want that one. It's $999. If you're ever in doubt about which one to buy, because there's three of them, buy me the most expensive one and get me a spare battery in a case.
See, now what you need to do is get the drone and then go to Cold Stone. Pick up the cake.
I know I'm supposed to do a cold, so you're
pick up the cake with the drone and deliver it with a camera, showing his reaction.
See, I bet the big one can do that too.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so Cold Stone Creamery, Dads, take the cake this Father's Day. He'll love the new Oreo cookies and cream extreme ice cream cake, plus the tall, dark, and delicious ice cream cake. Order yours online at coldstonecakes.com. Only at Cold Stone Creamery. They're the ultimate ice cream experience.
At Micronesia Renewable Energy, values matter. So all of their solar energy systems come with guarantees and the most value. No shortcuts, all quality. It's giving you that solar energy system at the best price. It's using highly efficient solar panels with typhoon-proven racking built by highly skilled local technicians, so your system performs and saves you money. It's total peace of mind all the time. Not all solar companies are created equal. For experienced quality solar, it's MRE. Call 632-2613. MRE, the smarter choice.
In this divided world, there are still a few things that unite us. The thrill of an exciting championship game.
Fires to the end zone. Touchdown!
the sound of great music,
The Grammy goes to...
and the love we have for that perfect burger. Ruby Tuesday Guam presents to you For the Love of Burgers menu. For a limited time, we want you to put down that fork, tuck that napkin in your collar, and go for broke with an amazing burger for just $11.99. 8 burgers to try, and time isn't wasting. Ruby Tuesday Guam lunchtime. See you soon.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training every morning on The Ray Gibson Show.
Every manager is different in his or her own way. Each approaches the job with a unique combination of beliefs, ideas, and behaviors. I'm Jerry Roberts, and at 7:20 a.m. on The Ray Gibson Show, part 2 of our discussion as we dig into the thoroughly mixed bag known as management styles.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point by Jerry Roberts at guamtraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts on The Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point.
But what again? Oh, awesome. I'm so glad that we were able to hook up here. What was it, a month ago or something like that? I got to get the, and I'm going to ask her at the same time to give the telephone number. I want to get, Darlene Garcia is on the line. Darlene, what's your public phone number for everybody?
My number is 686-4673, and it actually stands for HOPE, H-O-P-E, so it makes it easier for people to remember.
Okay, and the reason why I'm putting that number up here is because it is possible that before the program is done, somebody might come to the realization that they could use your help. In dealing with grief and separation and maybe just an overall hard time in their life. Darlene Garcia, if you'll recall, folks, a couple of months ago, there was a fella that had come to Guam and was doing, you were part of that, right, Darlene?
Yes.
Yeah, he was like couples counseling, and it was a couple of delightful interviews. And I was able to spend a little bit of time with you, just briefly touching on your experience as a widow, your experience having difficulties dealing with the grief. Everybody handles things differently. For some people, it's easier to get past things, and for others, it can be paralyzing. But and you had some issues, and you found ways to overcome those issues to a degree, and help others. So the reason why I'm calling is, number one, I just want to congratulate her because she's got a column now in the Pacific Daily News. So I think that's a big deal. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much. I'm excited.
Well, and you should be. It should be. What a great opportunity for you to spread your ability to help people in other media. I mean, you're always welcome to call me. You're always welcome to swing by for a visit. But it's nice to have things written down. Some people, they process information better that way.
Yes, that's very true.
But also in the start of it is not the congratulations, but thank you for letting us witness what you have been through and the stages that you went through to get to a point where you could help others get through theirs.
Yes. That's actually the incredible part of my journey is being able to share my heart, because I think that's where, as human beings, a lot of times we get it wrong, or we think that we have to, hold it inside, not share it with others because it's uncomfortable, or we're supposed to be strong, and so we don't show that side of us. But that vulnerable side of us is so important because it really does show everyone that, we truly are human, and part of being a human is feeling all of your human emotions, even the bad ones.
Yeah, and that's not the first time I've heard that, though, and accepting and owning the feelings and those emotions. I mean, I think that's a little bit easier said than done.
Yes, it is. It really is. And, I think a lot of it, Ray, is because of how we were brought up, the things that we've learned throughout our life, especially as a child, right? We learn all of the things about how to be strong, how to be resilient, how to move forward in life and be positive. But I think sometimes we forget to tell our children, when you're facing adversity, when you're facing challenges, when you're facing sadness, just acknowledge that pain and be okay with feeling it in that moment, right? So, a lot of it comes from that time in our life, I think.
Yeah, so it's okay. And we'll put it into a little bit of perspective. Obviously, I lost my dad last month and absolutely loved him. And it happened so fast. and people say, you know, you've got, and I remember when Mana and RD came and told me that my father had passed, because Shelley couldn't find me at the time, my phone was off or something, and she and I remember at that moment I couldn't cry, I didn't cry, and I thought I should have, and I felt a little bad that I didn't. I mean, I have obviously since, but I mean, so what emotion was I trying to hold there?
You were definitely trying to hold in the pain, right? Pain is an uncomfortable feeling as a human being for anyone to go through. And so, you know, it's very natural for us to just not want to feel that pain. And if that means that we're not crying or we're not showing that emotion in front of others and we're really trying our best to suppress it, then that's what we're going to do, right? But at the same time, Ray, doesn't mean that you not crying was a bad thing. I mean, like you said, everyone processes grief differently. And so you didn't cry at that moment. There was nothing wrong with that. That was your way of dealing with your grief at that time. Because you did say that you've since cried, which is a really good thing, right? I mean, that's one of the things that I teach a lot of my clients is that tears are toxic. So it's the way for the human body to release those toxins from your body. And it's okay to cry, you know, but again, if you're not a crier and it's difficult to cry, you know, there's
not a crier. It's because my father always told me big boys don't cry. And so, you know, that's one of the things that, and the idea is now that I need to be strong for others. You know, my sisters, my nephew, etc., my stepmother. So I need to be the strong guy for them, and so I don't necessarily want that to be the chink in my armor, if you will.
Yeah. So let me just tell you that being strong for others is one of the biggest myths around grief. And I was exactly the same way. I grew up being taught to be a strong woman, and especially when I became a mom. That was always the thing that was said to me was you need to be strong for your kids. And so I carried that through Frank's funeral, through the rosaries and all of that because I thought in my mind that I needed to be strong for my family. And when I was told otherwise through this grief recovery workshop that it's okay to feel and that being strong for others is a myth and being able to release all of that, a huge weight lifted off my shoulders, right? And I was able to teach my kids then how to feel their own emotions by watching me feel mine.
Huh. So I had not looked at it like that, and nobody had ever given it to me that way. That was all about that there was a myth. How did you deal with people telling you? And I'm sure it's ad infinitum, and I'm sure you probably still hear it now. How do you deal when people say, "Well, God makes things happen for a reason"?
Well, you know, when they first started to tell me that, it made me so angry because
at them or at God?
At them for telling me this. Well, I was mad at God too, but I mean, I just thought that people were just saying hurtful things to me, and that was one of them. But I later realized that they didn't say those things to intentionally hurt me. Again, it's all because we've learned so many wrong things about grief throughout our life. And those are some of the common things that people would say, right? Naturally, it's like, I don't know what to say to someone, so you just tell them things like that. They're in a better place. You know, God, you know, puts these things in your path for a reason.
Yeah.
You have to be strong for your family, for your kids, for, you know, for everyone. And so all of these things are the wrong things that we've learned about grief, but it's so common throughout the world for people to say that, and because it's so uncomfortable, you kind of say the first thing that you remember someone else maybe saying to you at some point, or hearing someone say to someone else, and so it just kind of comes out.
So let's give them a piece of advice here. If you know somebody that is going through a rough patch, maybe lost somebody, living or dead, what should you say? How should you let them know that you are sympathetic, that you love them, and that you care for them, and you will be there for them?
So the first thing is that you just acknowledge that they're in a lot of pain. Whatever feelings that they express to you, just acknowledge it. Don't judge them because, you know, that's probably going to be the one thing that's going to push you away from them if you start judging them because grief is so unique to each of us that, you know, even I can't sit here and talk to another griever and say I understand how you feel because they don't, right? Even though we've suffered a similar loss because another widow lost her husband just like I lost mine. Our relationships are completely different. So I would never tell anyone that I understand what they're going through.
Yeah.
The other thing is to just be there. Sometimes even just saying, I don't know what to say, right? My heart is breaking for you. I honestly don't know what to say to help you, because at the end of the day, we don't know what to say to people. Again, grief is so unique, and so it's very difficult to kind of help somebody through that. But just being there for them, showing them love, crying with them, allowing them to speak about their loved one. I think that's another one of the things that that gets people in a rut or suppress their grief, is because there's people around them that tell them, that you got to move on. Like, stop talking about them and making you cry all the time. But really, at the end of the day, when you lose someone, and I think you can relate to this, is you don't ever want to forget them. You want to remember every single memory that you had with them. And as long as someone will give you an opportunity to talk about them, you're going to do it, right? Because you don't ever want to forget them. You don't ever want to forget your loved ones.
The advice I've always given to people is start collecting memories. Or if you know somebody, then you go to their survivors or whatever, and you say, hey, I remember this time your father and I did this, or I remember this time your husband and I did this. It was the craziest thing, and we had such a good time. It's my favorite memory, and now you can put it in the pile of memories with you. I could go all morning with my thoughts, with thoughts that you can bring up. But just a real quick question: what's a session with you like? What happens if somebody calls you and they say, "Darlene, I heard you on the radio," or "I saw your thing in a newspaper, and I'm going through something right now." Doesn't have to be death necessarily, I don't think. But what is a session with you going to be like for them?
So I run programs, and the programs run about 7 to 8 weeks, depending if it's a group or an individual session. But I always offer people an initial consultation. So this one-time free initial consultation allows people to come to me and share their story with me. And then we can see if we connect, right? I mean, I think that's always important when you're working with a client, is you want to make sure that you have that connection, because I'm an option, right? There's therapists, there's counselors, there's psychologists. I'm just another option. So I may not be for everybody. So I want to make sure that whoever comes to me and tells me their story, that they also feel good, that they trust me, and they know that they can take this journey with me. And then, just so that everyone knows, my program is very different from counseling or therapy or seeing a psychologist. It's really more of an education-based or an action-based program.
Yeah.
So I walk people through what grief isn't, and then teach them what grief is. And then after that, we talk about the tools. I teach them tools on how to navigate through their grief. And the magic about that is that once they're done with my program, they take these tools and they can use it throughout their life. So it's not just a one-time, okay, I'm done with Darlene, done with this, I got to come back and see her next time. You don't really need to. You can actually take the tools that I taught you and use it throughout your life every single time you suffered loss or dramatic change in your life or an end to something, right? Because all of that really is grief.
The telephone number is on the screen, 686-4673-686-HOPE. And you can find Darlene. Open up the PDN. I forget what page it is today. Or I think they did a video. Did you say they did a video with you? Is that going to be on the online edition?
Yes, they did. They did, and it is on the online edition. If you just search grief, because I don't think it comes up as a top story, but if you just search grief, it actually pulled up, and they did do a short video to intro the column. Okay, and so take a look at that. If you're going through something right now and need somebody to talk to, and then the other part of this that kind of makes it interesting to me is that Darlene is from here. And we have peculiarities, I think, in the Catholic process and the way we do things around here. And sometimes I think that those do nothing more than extend the pain a little bit. But as I said, we've got somebody that's got some local sensibilities about how we grieve and maybe different ways that we might want to modify those traditional approaches to grief. So talk to Darlene, 686-4673. And again, congratulations on the column. I hope that the people read it and you can help them. I hope people hear this and you can help them as well. Thank you so much, Ray, for just even allowing me to come and talk about this. Hey, listen, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. And I think we're related somehow. Yeah, I think so too.
All right. I'll see you pretty soon, Darlene.
All right. Thanks, Ray. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 9:48 in the morning. Sorry, a little too personal for me? No, it was all right. All right. Yeah, because everybody knows my father died. So where to now? I know where we're going now. Yeah, we're gonna. So on the 100th episode of the Ray Gibson Show, we're going to give away some very expensive water purification and dispensing technology from American Water Tech. It's either going to be the under sink thing or it's going to be the reverse osmosis thing. I don't know yet because Rizik's off island and he didn't tell anybody. So I'm going to ask you a question based on something we talked about earlier this morning. And in fact, let me hone in on it a little bit more. 888, what's the phone number here? It's 888-8255. 888, almost give my home number on the air. 888-8255. That's 888-TALK. And I want you to use that telephone number. And the topic is going to be Margaret Metcalf. Margaret Metcalf. That's the topic. I'll tell you what the question is after these messages.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
From September 17 to September 19, 2018, the Archdiocese of Hagåtña will be conducting settlement conferences with victims of clergy abuse. If you have a claim and want to meaningfully participate in the September settlement conferences, call Hope and Healing Guam at 1-888-649-5288 before August 1st, 2018. All conversations with Hope and Healing Guam are confidential. If you have filed a lawsuit against the Archdiocese, you are already included in the settlement process.
Circle K has just made it easier to select products that are better for you and your healthier lifestyle. When looking for items that are low carb, low sodium, low calories, low sugar, high in antioxidants, or high in protein, just look for the easy to spot better for you labels so you can find these items at a glance. Come by and see for yourself. It has never been more convenient to fill up on anything and everything that are better for you. Circle K. Take it easy.
Say hello to high-speed data on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. We've just upped your prepaid data, so make your big plans bigger with 1 gigabyte of data per day. Bigger prepaid data for your big plans that just keep getting better. Enjoy high-speed data and unlimited local talk and text on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. Text LTE to 3282, select a plan, and enjoy 1 gigabyte of data per day. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
It's the best day ever, isn't it? Don't you think? Don't you agree? 888-8255. Let me make it even better for you, shall we? So up for grabs, I have 2 tickets to go and watch. And this is a great Father's Day gift, huh? Dad and whichever kid is his favorite. I'm just messing around. But I got 2 tickets to go and watch the encore with Anthony Reid over at the Fiesta Hotel, right? So and make a night of it. This is what we're planning to do here. Make a night of it is you go Samurai and then you go watch the show and then Haagen-Dazs afterwards and you're all in the same, I don't know, it's 30 feet, right? So I got $160 worth of tickets. No, I'm not going to be buying your Samurai dinner for Father's Day, and no, I'm not going to be buying the Haagen-Dazs. It's just my way of saying you should do this. And now Darlene is on the wasn't that a great interview we did with Darlene? She just checked in on the Facebook Live. Okay, just want to make sure that we're still talking about it. Anyway, so I was telling you something. Okay, so in order to get to that, which will get you as a daily winner closer to winning the system from American Water Tech, what you need to do is try to remember. Early this morning, I had a conversation with Margaret Metcalf, who works for the governor's office in Washington, D.C. And so the question is, she has a kind of a fun nickname. She has a fun nickname. And I called her by that nickname this morning. And if you would like, 888-8255, just dial now. If you know Margaret Metcalf and you know what her fun nickname is, then call me up and I will put the tickets into your hands. I know some of you are listening right now and you're struggling with the answer. I don't know. What is it? I don't remember what it is.
It's a popular snack food.
It certainly is. Almost as popular as Frank Blas's mango preserves. God, these are good.
Yeah, they looked good.
I
can't eat the crackers. So.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, we still got that problem. 888-8255, Margaret Metcalf's fun nickname. Line 1, what do you think it is?
Pudding.
It is pudding. It's Pudding Metcalf! That's a fun nickname. What's your name?
Nathan Horn.
Hey, Nate, how you doing? Now,
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Pretty good. Now, do you have a nickname? Is there something that people... Do you have a fun nickname?
Unfortunately, no, just Nate.
Just Nate? All right, I'm going to give you one.
Alrighty.
It's Chucky's Hammer.
I'm sorry, one more time?
I can't repeat it. But what I can tell you is that you've won the contest, and I'm going to put you on hold, and then my buddy Michael Knight is going to say things to you that only winners get to hear. 9:54. You know, you can get away with a little bit more on FM, don't you? That's the whole idea. And when I wasn't talking with Pudding, and she basically, what did she call for? She wanted to, I guess, highlight the idea that there was a lot of behind-the-scenes work that was going on to try to get the governor onto Air Force One to see the President of the United States of America. You know, he was here. The President stopped by. It was early in the morning. It's a big story. And we're beginning to get a little bit more detail, but flesh on the bones about what may or may not have taken place. We do know that at some point, the guys in the military, was it, because the military never said anything. They never confirmed or denied. The people over at Anderson were absolutely tight-lipped about any of the operations that were going on their tarmacs. But the White House, working with the governor's office, I suppose, were able to I don't know, make all the clocks chime at the same time so the governor could get aboard Air Force One. So we got pictures of him climbing up into the part of the plane where Bill Clinton used to sneak interns out of. So they got the governor going up that set of stairs and then up into Air Force One and actually end with and there's pictures. If you give me half a second, I might be able to scare them up and put them online on the Facebook Live. But pictures of the President of the United States with Governor Eddie Jerome Boza-Calvo. I know that he wanted to present some kind of a plaque to the president, but I don't think he was able to do that. So I can show you a picture of the plaque that he wanted to present. I don't know that it was available in time for the conversation. So I think that's still here, and they're going to have to pouch it out to D.C. or Pudding's going to have to bring it with her on the next trip or something like that.
That's really nice, though.
I know. I want to know who did it. I want to know who did it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it's my friend's place out in Lower Dedido, but I'm not 1,000% sure, so I don't want to say until I know.
So
for
I'm
sure.
new here, and what we're looking at basically is like a latte stone.
It's a latte stone,
right, with the Course of Guam seal on there, and then some nice writing, respectful stuff on the top and the bottom. It's
right,
very
right.
cool.
Well, on the bottom, it's a Jesus phrase.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's Matthew. You know where I'm at. You know I said Jesus, right?
Yeah, I know Jesus.
Come on, hit it. You know you want to. No, not that one. The other one. No, not that one. Get up. It's Jesus Day. All of a sudden,
Jesus Day.
Might as well have a...
Are you on painkillers?
Not yet.
9:57 and change. And so that's what the governor wanted to give to the president. And here is the picture, and this will be far. It should be in the front page of the newspapers tomorrow. Governor Eddie Pepsi Calvo with Donald J. Trump, and there I see it now because somebody had pointed it out. I'm looking at it as a couple of guys, right?
Yeah.
And but somebody had pointed out that Trump has got kind of he's angled his shoulder kind of away from Eddie. You see
and
that?
Eddie's having to kind of reach around, to get his hand to show on the shoulder there. And quite frankly, I have never seen Donald Trump take a less photogenic photo than this one.
Well, it's not bad. It's not terrible. I mean, it's it's the smile that you make.
They woke him up off the cot.
Yeah, it's the face that you make when you're meeting the president. Hey, look at me. Hey. What's that back there? And no, I don't know, Shell, if that comes from Jen at Local Promos. I hope it does, because it'd give you an idea. I mean, if this is good enough, if this is if this is the kind of quality material that Jen is capable of producing, something that a governor would give to the president, well, that's good enough that's good enough for your Employee of the Year presentation at the office. That's good enough for Employees of the Year, whatever the award ceremonies are going to be, Laddie Stone, whatever. So just, I don't know. I'll find out. I'm sorry, lost my train of thought again as usual. So 9:58, 9:59 and change. Okay, so what's tomorrow? Thursday? What do you want to do tomorrow? Anything?
Well, it shall be Thursday all day. Okay. So I don't know.
We'll see if we can scare up some stories. There might be some fun over at the legislature. Well, it's fun for me to watch, but there might be some fun over at the legislature, the Department of Education with BJ Cruz for their budget hearings that need to take place. And as the Department of Education, the rationale behind always beating them up is that they are responsible for better than half of the spend in the government of Guam, and BJ is going to zero base everything. So what did John say? We're going to start with the Adequate Education Act and build from there. And that'll be interesting to watch. The radio station you're listening to is KUSG Hagåtña. My name is Ray Gibson. For Kevin Kerrigan, who takes care of the news, and Michael Knight, who pushes the button, and Blake Watson comes in occasionally to do sports, I want to say thanks very much for listening. I had a fantastic time. You realize if you had half as much fun listening to the program as I did doing it, that means I had twice as much fun as you. I've also got Fox News. See you tomorrow.
A mega merger gets the go-ahead. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. A federal judge gives the thumbs up to the AT&T Time Warner merger.
The interesting thing is he has